Scored 3, assisted 2, was a constant danger throughout it. So you know them ones where you're like, you know what, actually, if you think it, say it out there. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's also got a shout for it as well. But for me, the reason why I've gone for Mbappe as player of the tournament is because, for me, he signifies, the word is up the right, I'm used to it. He
signifies.
That's it. What I think this tournament should be, in the sense where it's been new. He's been new. He's been fresh. He's been fearless. He at 19, France is looking for him to go and win the World Cup. So you're looking back at Pele times. You know what I'm saying? So that's for me why I think he stepped up at a kid. So that's why I give it to Mbappe personally.
Okay. Interesting. We're talking about the World Cup in general there. Little bit of a quiz. Team top scorers in the tournament. Do you know who that was?
Belgium.
Belgium top scorers. Interestingly, Neymar had the most attempts on goal of any player.
Did he?
Courtois with the most saves of anyone. John Stones covered more distance than any other player.
Wow.
Interesting, though, that they played one game more than
running up and down
Croatia.
from set pieces.
Yeah, exactly that. Most passes, England. And, of course, Golden Boot is being won currently by Harry Kane.
That.
Harry Kane's on 6. You did say that, didn't you, Harry Kane? Mbappe needs 3 to equal Harry Kane.
Yeah, it's not happening.
And
Harry Kane.
Griezmann as well.
We've got a brilliant stat as well, if you draw us to our monitor as well. Adebayo was just raving about Kylian Mbappe. Check this stat out, Bayo. 19 years, 207 days. Kylian Mbappe is the youngest Frenchman and the 3rd youngest player overall to appear in a World Cup final. Pele and Bajomi. And that's incredible, isn't it?
I've already said that. For me, look, I salute him. He gets the BMO 5-star stamp of approval there, you know.
The BMO 5-star.
Smithy, what were you doing age 19?
It's age 19. I don't think you want to know what I was doing age 19, mate, but it wasn't playing in a World Cup final, that's for certain. And I've just spilled tea down my shirt as well. Yeah, I was not playing in a World Cup final. Yeah, some horrific barnets, mate.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of dodgy barnets,
we should get some of those pictures up of Smithy.
Mandzukic, I think, asked for the Smithy, doesn't he? Mandzukic looks like he's gone for your haircut but not quite managed it.
Yeah.
It's an attempt, but it's a
I've still got a fairly strong hairline for someone my age. I'm quite.
You've got a very strong hairline. Whereas
true.
Mandzukic has got the thinning version.
We haven't even chatted about Mandzukic, and he's a problem as well.
Oof. Good thing you get that.
Right, so the game is underway. A minute. Oh, this speaking of haircuts, this is this ref with the really
Elite
dodgy.
Elite comb over. Oh, wow, this is happening.
Why are you on my Facebook page? This is
Sometimes let's go see your hairline.
It sounds like
be proud about your hairline, bruv.
You're not going to find a dodgy. You're not going to find a dodgy.
Let's go to them hairlines.
It seems very invasive.
I ain't gonna lie.
Here we go.
Why are you going to my Facebook page? Oh, please don't.
Well
do that.
done, whoever's doing that. That's good. Good work.
I can't believe that. The amount of.
Go on, humiliate him.
I'm going to get trolled massively now. At least cuts it when you've got a picture. Not with all my
When he's strolling as well.
Unbelievable.
Put his address on there.
I can't believe they've done that.
And it's still continuing, like.
What are you doing? Anyway, the game is going on.
Forget about the game. We want to talk about your hairline.
Great header. So it is 0-0. Only 2 minutes played.
Oh, there we go. There is Smithy at his finest.
There we go.
There we go.
Incredible look.
That is me recently. Not my hair, I'm pleased to say. Pato, famous last time these two met in the World Cup, 1998 semi-final. That was a strange game, wasn't it? Lilian Thuram getting 2.
Yeah.
The red card as well.
Yeah, for Blanc. Yeah,
Yes,
Blanc had to sit out the World Cup final.
Remind me, what was the score? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Good chance.
My guy, innit? This is my guy, yeah?
Yeah.
It's going back inside.
It is Perisic, yes.
What do you guys think about the comments that Luka Modric made, considering England saying,
It's a good point, that.
you were
Luka
a
Modric
very
saying-
arrogant bunch and you underestimated
I don't think he said
Croatians?
arrogant bunch.
Yeah, don't add words. Don't add words.
paraphrasing.
Can I just say, Nathan is so anti-England football in his support of Northern Ireland. He did not say arrogant. Nathan does raise a very good point that he did make. What he said, actually, I read the quote back. He said that he felt that the English media, and you're quite right, Nathan, were a bit dismissive of Croatia. But I think the whole "it's coming home" thing is done tongue-in-cheek, and it's because there's a song called that. I think that was sort of lost in translation, do you think?
Yeah.
And also, he'd have never have said that if England had won, either.
Yeah, look, I think, you know, if you talk and you don't back it up, you're always ready for ridicule. It is what it is. But I think everybody in England knows what it's coming home is.
Exactly.
Everybody knows what that is, and I think if you don't understand it, it can get lost in translation.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And I think that maybe that's what had happened. But to be fair, it was something for us. Here we go.
Good football.
Dang, Mandzukic.
Oh.
Do you think that the English media were fair? Because I have to admit, it got my back up a little bit when you beat Panama heavily, and afterwards, then I don't know, the expectation level seeed to go, and you over topped. I'm just honest. This is real talk.
Sounds like, are you like our Roy Keane here then? Yeah. Because
let us know what you think of Nathan's comments in the comment section below.
Well, to be fair, we're balanced. I'm a Northern Irishman who maybe may not support England that much.
Do you know the funny thing is? This is for the first time I felt that the media didn't go over the top.
Exactly.
Personally, I felt they didn't go over the top. It wasn't, and I think that's the reason why England kind of flourished to a degree, because there wasn't no, oh, we're going to win it. It was maybe because it was a tongue-in-cheek with it's coming home, so that was what was the driving force rather than it being so serious. And I felt the media was better this time. I think normally the media go in and they set it so high, and they've got that whole arrogant, like, because they play in the Prem, and I felt that was taken away
and also,
this year.
It sums it up that you can't really win, because you were saying, do you think the media were too positive, but when they're too negative, they get... So you can't win, can you, really?
Well, so there's a question here from Phil just on that about have England's achievements been overhyped? Because if you look at the record in this World Cup, they've played 7, 1-2 against Tunisia and Panama, drew against Colombia, and then lost the other 3.
Beat Sweden in the quarter-final.
I beat Sweden as well, sorry.
They beat Colombia as well. Like, for me, all that, for me, it's a win's a win, innit? So if you have to win in a penalty shootout, if you win the final on penalty shootouts, you won the game. It's like there's no...
Can I just say, Portugal, over three of those games, were terrible in Euro 2016, in my opinion. I'm going to put it out there, they were not the best team. Did the Portuguese fans care that they were terrible? They won the tournament. Of course they don't. Do they care? No. Greece won the Euros.
Yeah, that was horrific that year.
Do you think England are deserving
like 6 goals in the final?
So bad.
Well, yeah, because they came 4th.
Yeah, but in terms of how you would look at it...
No, Southgate said... Do you know what? And this is one thing. Southgate said it. He said, look, we finished 4th, but we're not a top 4th team. Yeah. That's just like Leicester winning the Prem. Like, they had an outstanding season that time when they won the Prem, but they never got lost saying, oh, now we're going to be in the Champions League every year. It wasn't. England, whatever... You need luck. They had luck because the draw they went into. They beat the teams that they had to beat. England in past times, beat the teams that they were supposed to beat.
Exactly that.
So that's step one. So they've done that. So you go up and beat the teams. And then, hopefully, with the future of the youngsters, then they can then start beating the Frances and the Croatias.
We were only extra time away from being in the World Cup final. We're talking how good Croatia were. England gave them a good game. Should have gone 2-0 up. So if England had won that, would you have said we're lucky to...
I think it raises massive points about England's game management, because the 2 times they were up that they needed to defend the lead was Colombia, and then in the semi-final against Croatia, and they both got so negative. And the substitutions in the semi-final were massively negative as well.
This was their first World Cup. Let them learn.
That's true, but a tactical mistake isn't the same thing as a bad side, right? So I think if you're going to make the point that, like maybe England didn't deserve to be in the semis, I think you can make the same point that actually the best team at this World Cup was probably Brazil. And yet at the same time, they're not going to win the World Cup.
They were massively unlucky, though, in there.
Yeah, they were unlucky, but that's not going to be any comfort to them if they don't win the World Cup. And certainly if France do win it, they're not going to go home feeling like their win didn't count. Like you said, you can win, you can beat the teams that are in front of you, and I think the set pieces thing has been a little bit overrated as well. When Leicester won the league, when Atleti won the league, nobody said, well, you only scored from set pieces, so it doesn't count. Everyone went home with a medal. No one cared.
Do you know what? For me, I actually enjoyed the fact that England embraced what they were good at.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
For me, it's like I play for a League 2 team and we're a big team, big side, so we are good at set pieces. Yeah. If you're good at set pieces, be good at it. Yeah. And they embraced it. So for me, I love that side of the England game.
But again, surely they should be creating more from open play.
You would hope they would.
Looking at the stats, I think they were second bottom of shots taken.
But yet still finished 4th.
Finished 4th. We're making so many positives, and whatever we're saying, the 2 Northern Irish lads just come back with a negative. Can we substitute something corner? The thing is, this is unbelievable.
Did they not pay the price?
They're going to start having this in 1966 now, aren't they?
By the way,
the one that didn't go in.
By the way, it's been all Croatia at the moment. We're talking, but it's been all Croatia.
Can we just say, huge rounds of applause for Switzerland. I'm so glad how well Switzerland played it. They thoroughly deserved to beat Northern Ireland in that.
With
because your team went out in the semi.
It was a very negative game plan from Northern Ireland in that game against Switzerland, if I might add.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, dear. Let us know what you think on that debate. It is a good debate that Nathan's raised. Were England lucky, or do England deserve to be treated like heroes for the fact that they got to a semi-final? Let us know what you think. There is no right answer. It's a good debate.
Will you
Let
be
us know in
there,
the comment section.
greeting them at the airport? And
Belgium, interestingly, Belgium have got a parade.
Yeah, they
Belgium
do.
what do you think of that?
That was their best.
In fact, we can
result
show
ever,
you
wasn't
this
it,
actually right now. So let us know what you think. This is Jan Vertonghen's Twitter. I thought he had a great tournament as well. Unbelievable day, amazing welcome home. Hashtag Red Together. You know, interesting one, this, Bayo. You know, ultimately they lost the semi-final. They did come third. They get a medal, but they're not champions. What do you make of this parade?
I think third is third. I think third is I think it's a medal. So you can. They came back, and out of all the teams that was in it, they came third. It's just like the Olympics. You get bronze, you get bronze.
Yeah, exactly.
So
should it be a parade?
Me personally, I don't know. No, again, it's.
But that's for the fans, not
but
for the players.
You can come home and be like, well done, you know, you did the country pride. But a parade, to me, is something that you do when you win.
No, but they still got a medal from it. So it's a medal. So that's just like saying we shouldn't get a parade if we got third and got promoted. You know, it's a medal. So it's not the best, but it's a medal. Do you know what I'm saying? So if the country feel, you know what, yeah, it was good enough for them to get a parade. Their players, if maybe the players they ask the players, they'd be like, look, we'd already get a parade, sorry, if we won it. But if the country wants to do it, do I think England should get a parade? Me personally, I don't think I could be wrong. I don't think the players would say it was parade worthy in the sense of coming fourth, even though I think it was a massive achievement for them to get fourth. But that's just whatever the country.
They deserve a good welcome home.
100%.
Semi-final of a World Cup.
100%. Yeah. I think for me, it's they went out to Iceland in their last.
Yeah.
So to get to the semi-final of a World Cup, it's progress. No matter what anybody says, no matter what...
Chance for Croatia! Oh!
No matter what anybody says, lack of creativity, lack of chances, they made it to the semi-final of a World Cup, so it's progress. And I think anybody in life, period, progression must be the key.
Yeah.
So, and they're young...
In any aspects of life,
in any aspects, that's
not
what
just
I'm saying.
football.
Thank you.
Life lessons.
So this is what I'm saying, and they're a young team. And I think for me, more than anything, it's not like, an aging team like the last. Say if it was the Gerrards, the Lampards and that, and you're like, okay, that's it, now we need to go and find a whole bunch. This was a young team, which all of them, maybe bar one or two, should be there 2 years' time, 4 years' time. And that's what it is. So when Germany did it that time, when they was the next generation and they was like, they came through and they were strong, everybody was behind them. And that's what I think with England, be like, yeah, man, nothing better than experience.
But also, it should be the only way is up for England, because if you look at their under-17s as well, who won the World Cup, you've got like Phil Foden, Ryan Brewster. You've got probably like 6 or 7 players that have the potential to turn into
absolute worth pointing out that at that youth level, I don't think there's a more successful country than England, actually, with the under-17s World Cup, the under-19s, the 20s, the senior team getting to the semi-final. If you look at the age of our squad going forward, there's unbelievable positives.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think for too many years now, we've looked at negatives. Yeah. And so I think this is just the time to just look at positives. Don't get overexcited, not overexcited, but you just take the positives that it's been a successful, no matter how you look at it, it's been a successful campaign.
Yeah. Sorry, but back to the game. Pat, I want to ask you, Croatia started, they look like the better team from the opening 10 minutes.
They look extremely energetic early on.
Which is crazy, really, because they've played so much football.
Well, it's interesting, though, these two teams, right, because they've both kind of dominated possession up until now, so it remains to be seen who actually gets to do that in this game. But it's kind of like we said before, like, if France don't have most of the ball, they can still do something else. They can still counter. If Croatia don't have most of the ball, that'll be interesting to see how they actually construct attacks, right? Yeah. Right now, it just looks like they're flying around the pitch and not letting the French midfield settle, and Giroud's barely had a touch. So I think they're just trying to set the tone.
But I think they have to do that, because if you let a team like France come at you with their firepower, it's going to be tough to do. And also Croatia's defence, I don't think, are the best. No. England kind of opened them up on a couple of occasions, so think what Mbappe will do to them.
Yeah, if you play basically saying like we're going to beat you 1-0. then you're leaving yourself open to just conceding a freak goal or a goal from a corner, you know, something like that. So in a way, Croatia have got to go out and try and dominate the game, because the other way of doing it against this France defence is just kind of too risky, I think.
And you mentioned the defence, the weakness, Croatia defence. Obviously, that brings me nicely on to the quotes. I want to get all of your opinions on this. Dejan Lovren. What I can't understand about this is when he's saying he's world class because he got Liverpool to a Champions League final, which they lost incidentally. But also, he comes up with that quote 2 days before he's coming up against Mbappe. Like, at least wait until you play the game.
You know what? I'm a Liverpool supporter, innit?
Yeah.
So this is we talk about this in our changing room. I thought it was edited. I thought there's no way you can come out.
Really?
As a player, this is what I'm saying, as a player, to come out with a statement saying you got your team to both finals.
Yeah.
For me,
I think Mo Salah might have something to say about that.
So even that, this is what I'm trying to say. Here we go. Here we go. My guy now. My guy. Didn't get
Heritage chance. Oh, clear.
He's not my guy now. He's not my guy. My guy. To make that statement, and the funny thing is, if he said, you know what, this year I've got to be considered up there as one of the best centre-backs because I got to the Champions League final and the World Cup final, it's facts. Whatever opinion you may have about him, it's facts. But to say I got them and I'm world-class, for me, I'm just like, it's borderline ludicrous in that sense. Like you said, 2 days before a final, and no, you didn't get them to the World Cup. You was part of a team that helped get to a World Cup final and the Champions League. It just...
And if they lose this match, obviously he's actually lost both finals as well. So it's not
them ones there.
He also deleted his Instagram, I believe, interestingly, after the Spurs game he had when he got subbed off during the season. So, you know, I think he's a good player, don't get me wrong at all, but I think it was just the timing of a comment like that was
if you look at like the other players in those squads, like Mo Salah, Modric, Rakitic, Lovren is so far down the list on who you would say is the game.
Pete Dorman says it how it is,
No, but but this is what I'm trying to say. It's not like you didn't see Verge come out and say, oh, when I went to Liverpool then had the best defensive record. When I got to... He didn't come out saying that. And, of course, Lovren looks better because he's playing alongside Verge. So,
Verge was a fantastic player, isn't he?
For me, best centre-back in the Premier, that's what I think. I think he's unreal and he's only going to get better. You know, this season we'll only see him again getting better. But for me, it's ludicrous for Lovren. It's just, there it is, flip.
It was a strange one.
So stupid,
although if there was going to be a time to say it, surely it's when he's in the World Cup final. And if he goes on to win this,
it's easier for people to mock it because of the way they perceive Dejan Lovren. So, for instance, Ronaldo said after he won the Best Award, he said, "I see myself as the best player in the history of football and the best player in the world."
He just won it, though, didn't he?
Yeah, but nobody kind of like mocked that. But it is ludicrous for him to say he's the best player of all time. He's not even close.
No.
Like, it's ridiculous for him to say that.
Who?
But Messi is far better than Ronaldo has ever been.
Opinion.
I don't know.
That's an opinion.
The numbers.
Both numbers. See, that's what I'm saying. Both numbers.
But in that instance, you're saying it's an opinion, right? And maybe that's why he's so great.
But no.
With Lovren, everyone laughs.
Here we go.
Chance for Mbappe.
But he's number. See, okay, that argument is up there, right? So that is an argument that happens. Who's the best player of all time?
I don't know if it's a serious argument.
Oh, come on now. People would turn around and have that argument. So you would have that argument. So to you, it may be ludicrous, but people would have that argument.
Yeah, Messi and Ronaldo is the most common football debate.
But clearly, Lovren's having this argument
by himself. He's having that by himself. There's nobody else that's backing him that argument.
So can I just say, don't mess with him. He's very big.
I don't mind him.
He's the gentlest guy on this sofa. He's a nice bloke. He's got nothing to prove.
Your point is that is a normal football debate, whereas Lovren won.
So that's what I'm saying. So for me, in the sense where when Ronaldo says, this is two things. If they win it, and he came out and said it, he'd turn around and be like, well, look, I just won the World Cup, and I got to the Champions League final. So he's got a leverage. Even though we may disagree, he's got a leverage to say something because he has just achieved something.
Sure.
So when Ronaldo said it, I can't remember, I didn't know that, but you said it after he won whatever he won. So he's come back, I just won this, I was voted for it or whatever, I'm the best player of all time. So that was off the bat.
So you're saying he needs to win something to
for me,
do it?
if you're going to come out and say something, like he said, if you're going to say something...
Griezmann chance.
Who did it? On goal. Who was it? It was an own goal.
Goal of
it was an own
World
goal.
Cup final. France lead Croatia.
It was an own goal.
1-0.
Don't knock set
These
pieces.
are the scenes
Don't
in
knock
Paris.
set pieces. I'm telling you.
Don't knock set pieces.
We do it in League 2. I'm in League 1 now, actually. You get me? We do it. Don't knock set pieces.
Set pieces work in League 2 and League 1.
Here we go. Look, Paris. They knew it was coming.
What has happened here?
Great pass from Griezmann.
Your hair off your trim.
Is there a hint of offside there,
Off
Bayo?
his hair. It was off his hair. Look,
fantastic
Mandzukic hair. There it is. Off the hair.
He's off Mandzukic.
The
Smithy
dangers
hair.
of Smithy.
That's what happens. Look.
Smithy hair.
No gel that don't go in there. That's what put too much
I
gel
feel
in his
sorry
head.
for him though.
I know.
Croatia
I told
miserable.
you, that's how it was. They didn't. They knew.
We were talking about how much of an
They knew.
impact Mandzukic would have in front of the goal. You're right, but it's in front of his own goal.
I feel for you, man.
Look at the scenes in Paris, Bayo.
that's
The
rough.
flares
That's
are there,
rough.
the flags are there. French fans are
That's hard
going
on you.
crazy. They are 1-0 up.
That's hard on you, brother.
Does anyone want to change their prediction now after France get the first goal?
Well,
2-1.
I'm sticking 3-0. My 3-0's looking good.
Tell you
Yeah.
2-1, man. No,
I think
don't
it's
sleep
Croatia
on it.
need to come out now and play.
But Croatia came back against.
Can I just
Croatia
say,
came back
against
against
England, yeah.
They came back against Russia. You know,
Yeah.
like they definitely have the ability to do it.
Got the players to it. Our producer Seb made a very interesting point amidst all of that very heated debate that we had. That Nathan, you said your point was, sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was nice for Lovren to show some positivity about it. And he said, well, that's all that England were doing with its coming home, which you hammered. So which is it? Negative towards England, but...
Are you firing this back on me?
Get him.
Nah,
He's
you're putting all this in the
hypocritical
bank.
is the word that is in my ear.
You're trying to catch me out.
It's an interesting debate.
As a player,
Go on.
I'm just going to jump in. As a player, so you can see when at the start of this game, they were energetic.
Yeah.
They were playing knowing that that momentum switch of you'll see that you'd like to see now what happens with what Croatia do now, because talking about the minutes, them being tired, then knowing that it's 0-0, being a goal down, that on top of them being tired. This I'd like to see if they still they're playing with that same energy.
Sure.
It's interesting as well,
They
isn't
get
it?
frustrated.
If they get
We're talking about set pieces, so I'm just swallowing some popcorn, and how, again, there was negativity to the amount of set pieces that England scored. But again, the World Cup could be won on a set piece.
For me, exactly. I don't even, when people talk about that, it's nonsense.
Yeah.
I swear down, it's so nonsense. If you can score from a set piece, go score. It's just the same with doing 3 step-overs, putting it top bins. It's still it's just, if you know, whenever England got a set piece, everybody was scared. And to have that as in your armoury, it is a beautiful thing.
And also, from a fan's perspective, so I've been at games when your team isn't particularly good at set pieces, it's very frustrating for the supporters. Whereas when you've got that as an option, it does lift the crowd.
It does, man. I'm telling you, it's good.
I would have liked to have seen it. If England were good at set pieces under Gareth Southgate, what would they have been like under Sam Allardyce? Because he was the master of set pieces. So
I suppose we'll never know, will we?
Interested. Yeah.
Interesting
100%
point.
record.
On social media, what are people saying? How are people reacting? People think it's a fair reflection, Nathan, because Croatia actually started the game quite well.
I think
it's a little bit against the run of play, right?
Yeah, I think
That makes a very good point as well. Sorry, that Croatia have gone behind 4 times in this tournament.
Really?
Everybody was expecting or was impressed by how Croatia started, and I think they're a bit hard done by to concede a soft goal in that. It was a good ball in, but they probably should be dealing with it.
Do you think there's defensive errors there? I mean, I know you can't blame, but should they have cleared that anyway? It's harsh for us to blame Mandzukic, I feel like I hate blaming anyone in a World Cup final because he's got...
For me, I would say blaming. You go for it. I mean, he looked like he was in the hole, and that was it. And it was the ball.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of it, there was nothing particularly special about the ball in.
Oh, there it is. Best centre back in the world. See,
that's what's good. Do you know the worst thing is now?
Go on.
They are going to clip his game. They're going to clip Lovren's game. Like I saw Henderson's clip, which if you just watched that, you would have thought Henderson was the worst player in the world.
Sure.
And that's
because
just
of what he said.
Just because of it's just they're going to clip it, and this you just set yourself up for fate. That's me personally. There's one. Here we go.
Oh, that was
chance.
Here we
Big
go.
chance.
Mbappe. Oh, it's a great tackle. That wasn't
the game has opened up quite a bit now since that goal.
It's a great ball from Pogba as well.
Yeah.
Interesting as well. Pogba. France have never lost a game. I believe I'm right in saying when Pogba and Kante have played together in 18 games. I want to pick you up on that, Pato, because you singled out Kante. You're a massive fan of Kante. I mean, who isn't really? But you think he's up there with player of the tournament, don't you? That highly you rate
I would make him player of the tournament if France, even if France don't win the tournament. France's defence has been what's got them here. Yeah, their attack has been really good, but nobody can get through that defence. Like, look at the defensive masterclass they produced against Belgium. You know, who, as we said, outscored every other team in the tournament.
Close game that though, wasn't it? France-Belgium could have gone either way.
But Kante has been absolutely unbelievable. The only game where France conceded a significant number of goals was Argentina, and with Argentina there was, you know, a wonder strike, an unbelievable ball from Messi, and then just a kind of lucky deflection. Like, they're not things that Kante can be doing something about. Plus, I think what Kante's shown, think of how much Man United fans have been whining this season about how Pogba has to play in a 3. No, he doesn't. He just has to play alongside Kante. And it turns out great.
Very good point.
Kante's two.
I would have loved that.
Kante's two players.
Are you surprised?
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. He is playing in a 3.
He's playing in a 3.
He's playing in a 12-man
You
lineup.
get me.
We are raving about France. They've been quite open at the back, though, haven't they? The Croatia have had quite a few chances. There's a bit of afters going on here, Bayo. No, the referee didn't have it. But they are quite open at them. They've not started brilliantly in the back, France.
Yeah, but in saying that, I think Varane and MTT have been the best centre-back partnership for the World Cup. You know, they've been so solid. I think the only other centre-back that's been better than both of them has been Godin.
Yeah, Godin was very good, though. Pepe was good when he was playing. I also think, like, you got to give credit to that combination of Maguire and Stones. They were very good as well. I thought Walker looked like he was adjusting to new positions.
Maguire was my favourite England player.
Was he?
Yeah.
I think Maguire and
Trippier. He impressed me massively, Maguire.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the England squad, but I think Maguire probably was my favourite, just for the fact the time when he turned up to training or to camp with his bin bags, all his clothes in. That's just quality.
His head's massive, that's why. Massive.
I think the size of Harry Maguire's head has actually come up on every single football social.
There were polls about it last time.
We had polls about it and everything.
Do you think it's taken attention away from how big Eric Dyer's head?
Wow. Can we just say, this is Mario Mandzukic. Look away now at this stat that just popped up on that screen, which I believe said that he is the only player, I'm saying it slowly so that there it is, the first player ever, Bayo, to score an own goal in a World Cup final. That is a stat you don't want to hear, is it?
It's not. It's a stat you don't want. It's a stat you don't want.
To be fair, that's a mental stat.
He'll end up being, he'll be the only player to score an own goal and a goal in the World Cup.
Yeah? Wow. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'll give him that.
If there's one guy who's a big game player, actually, in this match, it is Mandzukic.
Yeah, man.
Like, he's got 2 goals in Champions League finals. He's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Mandzukic is one of those guys as well who's kind of not had enough credit for what he's done in this tournament.
We ain't spoke. You know, we talked about the midfield, but we ain't spoke about Mandzukic, how he keeps running. He's constantly affording defenders backs, and he's good in front of goal. You know, when you've got a real good midfield like that, you can get overlooked.
Yeah.
Man, this game ain't done yet.
No.
There's an interesting question here from Phil. It says, if Croatia can turn this game around, does Modric have a justifiable chance at the Ballon d'Or, given his influence in this squad as well as his Real Madrid squad in the Champions League?
The thing is, I don't think how you play in the Champions League or your season should influence your... Are you talking about...
For the Ballon d'Or.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Golden Ball for this. Yeah, I mean, it is a very good point, isn't it? A lot of people made the point that Mo Salah, had Liverpool won the Champions League final, would have been a contender for the Ballon d'Or. So I think the same logic should apply for Luka Modric if he turns it around here.
100%. I think, forget turning around, I think he's won the Champions League final. Yeah. Correct?
What, his 4th in 5 years?
Yeah, so he's won that. He's got Croatia, which... to the World Cup final, how can you not take that in consideration? He's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Why would it not? For me, it's Messi, Ronaldo have done it, but then he's done the same thing as Messi and Ronaldo, but then gone one further in the international. He's got to be.
I also think Modric has 4 Man of the Match awards in this tournament.
Yeah, I still think Modric is the favourite to win the Golden Ball, the player of this World Cup.
I think he probably will.
And it's worth pointing out how big of an achievement it is for Croatia. Whatever happens today, population of just over 4 million compared to France's 65 million. They'd be the 2nd smallest nation ever to win the tournament after. Anyone know?
Greece.
Uruguay.
Uruguay, that's what my next guess was.
So when it comes to Northern Ireland, I always make that as an excuse. I know I'm talking about that again, but when it comes to that, I always make it as an excuse. They're like 1.9 million. I'm like, we can hardly form a squad together. But then for a nation who are only maybe double that, and they're in the World Cup final.
To be fair, we should be there. After that penalty, I'm not having that. Corey Evans, not a handball. No chance.
Yeah, but it's amazing. I think a bit of me would like to see Croatia win, just the pure underdog story.
Yeah, the underdog story.
Yeah.
Oh, hit it.
Perisic shot!
I told you! He's a bad man! He's a bad man! I said it!
Bayo only talked to me about this player. You know it.
He's a bad man! Look, let's look at them, man. They knew.
Look at that. These are the scenes in Zagreb.
I told you this game wasn't over.
The World Cup final is alive.
I told you this game wasn't over. And you, man, were trying to say they weren't going to score. I knew they weren't going to score.
Bayo, he's just pointing to his thigh muscles.
That's what he said. Ronaldo ain't
as
got
big as
none.
your thigh.
Yeah, no, you don't want
Okay.
none.
No, but here we go.
I can't get it up, but yeah, man.
Come up.
Yeah, they won't come up. Look at the
Talk
finish.
us through this goal.
Look at the finish. You knew as soon as he took it.
See you later.
Bang! That was it. Look, and the worst thing is, the first touch was Mbappe-like when he scored the last. Watch it. Move it.
He's in the box.
Bang! And that's Kante. He did it too as well.
He's going to hit.
Can I just say, that is an incredible finish.
Bruv, he's a bad man. I said it. A bad man. Look.
Taking a deflection.
Deflection.
Taking a big
He is a bad
Oh,
man.
did take a deflection.
It was
Oh, you're
doing
joking.
good things.
Still a great goal.
I got to take it away from you. You're not a bad man that much. No, I'm telling you, he was
Look
a
at
problem.
Zagreb, Bayo. We were talking earlier.
Look at them. They wasn't even playing. Look, you can't even see them no more.
Wow, I'm suddenly thinking the Croatian this football's amazing.
And something that happened just before that was Kante got booked. So when you're relying on Kante to break up play and he's got booked, suddenly you're in a kind of a dangerous situation, right? Because if it's close in the second half, he's got to try and tackle and make interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, he's on
eggshells
now.
Yeah. Kante's got to watch out for the rest of the game. That's the last thing you want.
I said it, though. They've been behind 4 times. It don't faze them going behind. He
Look
said
at the difference in Zagreb there.
There we go.
Compared to
Taking
Paris.
his kicks off. The
Stunned silence
yeah,
in
I'm
Paris.
joining you in this. Guys, you know, getting the pizza gang.
Oh, yeah.
I've actually got 2 slices.
Go on, Bayo, surely
Wow.
pre-season. This is your
Oh my
pre-season
God.
diet.
Yeah, it's pre-season. I've got training tomorrow. That's why I'm glad my gaffer better not be watching this. I've got to chase Brentford around tomorrow. I mean, on Tuesday. I chased Nobes. Actually, no, to be fair, Nobes was he's off.
Offside. How was pre-season going, Bayo?
Yeah, not too bad. Got like 20 minutes in the bank yesterday against West Ham. They beat us 1-0, but strong. And Nautovic, what a player that guy is. And Nobes.
Yeah, Mark Noble.
Yeah. Good.
Surprised that Mark Noble has never played for England?
I'm surprised. I'm telling you, he is a baller.
Is he?
Oh, he's a baller. Good guy in them things. Good.
Did Jack Wilshere play?
No, he didn't play. He signed a couple new players that didn't play.
Right.
But played the strongest team they could. So it was a good run out. Yeah, full swings and that. Playing in the sauna yesterday.
Yes.
Mad hot.
West Ham spent a lot of money, haven't they?
A lot. They're still spending money.
Yeah.
Approaching 100.
Yeah, 95, I think it is.
I mean, it didn't work out for them last
95
season.
million already. Yeah.
You know what? I mean, generally speaking, with clubs, it's always a bit dodgy when they give their manager full control of transfers when that manager's just arrived. Because if you sack your manager every 2 seasons, you end up with a squad which was built for somebody else, being managed by somebody else. In the case of West Ham, I'm kind of OK with them giving control to their manager because I think Pellegrini's pretty good and West Ham are a disaster when it comes to transfers most of the time.
You know what? For me, I find with...
Uh-oh.
I find... legs, bro.
What are you doing?
Go on.
You know what I find with clubs nowadays? They had a defender that was... I think they put him for 22 million.
West Ham?
Yeah, yesterday.
Diop.
Him. And, of course, it was his new game and he was trying to get to grips in that. But I feel like clubs... they buy players for 20 million just to show fans that, look, we're going for it, but not giving the youngsters that can that can do the same job and if not, do better with runs of games. I just think they're shouting 48 million. Oh yeah, we're going for it. We spent 100 million just because it's pressure to show, rather than just go with the youngsters that are coming through and just saying, look, we're building for the future. I think it's just added pressure spending 150 million. It's just, for me, it's just, what you got a youth system for if you're not going to play your youth team?
Well, there are managers like Poch and Klopp that like to do that, don't they? With particularly Pochettino likes to give youth a chance and
that's right.
philosophy.
Every time.
I was about to say that.
Every day.
But anyway,
I couldn't think of another manager.
I get what you're saying.
But you're right about West Ham, right? Because when you've got someone like Reece Oxford and then RB Leipzig, who are one of the best sides in Europe at finding young talent, are saying we want to buy this guy off you, and West Ham are saying, well, we're not going to give him any minutes.
Yeah.
You start to think what's going on here. Like, how can you not find a use for that guy?
It's just exactly what you're saying. Reece came on yesterday. I mean, I know Reece. He come on yesterday, but you just spent 22 million on another centre half. So
how did they compare, Reece to the centre half?
Reece was better.
Really?
But again, I can only put down to I think it was his first game, so that's what I'm putting it down to. But for me, it's just you're spending 22 million on a centre-half. So you're going to have to justify playing him.
Right, yeah.
Just period. You just are. So then where does that leave Reece? You know what I'm saying? You want to give him the minutes. You want to give him the experience to build into then that guy that everybody else or the other teams can see. And if you don't, that's what I'm saying when I game with the youth. You know, try not to give youth a chance.
Is that true with older players as well? You think that older players sometimes need to be taken aside so that like younger players can get the run out as well? Because often you see teams, you know, do you remember when AVB came in at Chelsea? And like, there were other problems, but he was trying to shift out some of the older guys and give the younger guys a chance. And actually, that was kind of one of the things they should have been thinking about doing. But it became a bit of a tool used against him.
I think I think that it's a balance. I think you can. I think you need a balance. I think older players will tell you, here we go, set plays. Let's just watch the set play.
Corner for France. It's a good corner. Oh! It's a big chance, another set piece. They're claiming handball. Now, will they go to VAR? It looks like France very animated.
You might as well appeal, because if he goes, like, why not?
Do that. Go check, handball.
He's going to it as well. Let's have a look at the replay.
Oh, come on, it's a little bit hard.
I mean,
what's he going to do?
Nah, man, his hands are down anyway.
Yeah.
You could argue it's come
I don't know, you can argue he's moved his hand.
And the French players are extremely animated. It has hit Ivan Perisic's hand.
It's come over him. It's right under his. It's right under his
head. I'd be very surprised if he gives this.
They have gone to VAR and given ones like that in this tournament.
The handball rule makes no sense though, right? Because surely the handball rule should be like, do you get an advantage? Well, no, I think deliberate is difficult as well, because how do you gauge whether a guy's done it on purpose, right? If he can make it look kind of real. I think it's got to be whether he gets an advantage, and there
he's going to VAR. This is a big moment in the World Cup final. They're going to VAR. There was contact with the hand, but to be fair to him, it was.
So what happens is when do they think it was a penalty, and they're saying it for him to check? Is that why he's going?
I think they're just thinking there's enough evidence for him to look at it.
Yeah, there's enough for them to look. I think because it's a World Cup final, they want to make sure they get the right decision. So they're giving him the time to look at it. 28 penalties, Bayo, in this World Cup so far, more than any other tournament. Is this going to be 29? Do you think?
I don't think it should be. Yeah. I think, look, if that was, I'd be devastated if that was given against my team.
I don't think it should be, but I think it might be given.
Yeah, I think so as well. But
I mean, for me,
by the rules, that to me is not a penalty.
That's not a penalty.
The reason why it's not a penalty for me is if you watch, there's a French player in front, he misses the ball,
right over
and he has no
hand.
time to move his hand.
Yeah.
But you're right. Dorman raises a good point. We have seen them given for this before.
Yeah, well, there's been two.
But he's looking at this hard. He don't know what to do.
And you've got to look. Well, the thing is, the rules don't.
But he's going to give a penalty out here.
The rules don't say at the moment. You have to look at what would happen if
he's going to give it. He's always going to give it.
The referee. He went back. He went.
He don't know. You just say no. If you're not sure, say no.
Bayo, you're the final in this World Cup. What do you do?
No penalty.
Penalty.
That's wow! What a move! Bayo, these are the steals of right now. They're
No.
It's going to decide the World Cup.
No.
So if Griezmann takes this, then Griezmann is on 5. If he gets the previous one as well, because it was on target, then he's on 5 goals for the tournament, 1 behind Harry Kane, and on a hat-trick in a World Cup final. Because the first one was on target, that will go down as Griezmann's goal, even though it took a Mandzukic touch. If Griezmann takes this,
no, it wasn't. It was the first goal.
But I'm not convinced it was good.
The first goal was given as an own goal.
It shouldn't be given as an own goal.
It is given as an own goal.
I think after the tournament, it will be given as Griezmann's goal.
No, but it is an own goal.
Right now it is. Right now it is.
I mean,
is he going to do a hat-trick?
It's definitely given as an own goal.
That's never been. No, that's bad.
That should be a Griezmann goal. It's on target.
That should never be a penalty.
It's into the mix, though. How can you tell it's on target when it's in the mix of players?
Because we do that all the time. Like we judge the flight of the ball and see whether it would be on target. You can look from behind and see whether.
Anyway, it was given as. I can confirm it was given as an own goal. The first goal. He has given a penalty.
I would.
Now, Antoine Griezmann, let's point out, has got a mixed penalty-taking record, hasn't he? He's taken some huge penalties, and Subasic has been phenomenal. Saved more penalties in this tournament than any other goalkeeper, I believe.
Really? And he hit the bar in the Champions League.
He's had a lot. Griezmann looks nervous, isn't he?
He does look nervous.
He's missed in the Champions League final before, don't forget.
Yeah.
He looks nervous, but he's scoring.
Subasic has been phenomenal.
He looks nervous, and I'm telling you...
Subasic has saved 4 penalties and shootouts in this World Cup.
Paddy McGuinness.
He
Griezmann looks nervous.
He looks nervous, but he's got this, though.
Will he score, yes or no? Very quickly, Nathan.
Is he going to score?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's going to score.
Bottom left.
Pato, Bayo.
Yeah, he's scoring.
I think he might miss.
He's scoring, man. He's scoring.
I think it's a massive moment for Griezmann, of course.
Nah, he's passing this in A&B. He's passing.
I don't want VAR to decide the world.
How is your nose? How is your nose? This is you.
Oh, your heart is beating. I don't care how confident you are. Your heart is beating.
Right, it's a very short run out. Antoine Griezmann to give France the lead in the World Cup final.
He's down.
Bottom right.
Here he goes.
He's reversing it.
Oh! It's in the back of the net. France 2, Croatia 1.
Well, you know what?
There is the famous dance. These are the scenes in Paris. Oh, they're cheering now, aren't they?
That's bad. That's bad.
Can we just talk, how do you feel as a Croatia player and how do you lift yourself?
That's
the
bad.
2 goals have been an own goal and a penalty awarded by VAR.
That's never.
How do you calm your nerves at half time?
You use that. You use that and say the world's against us and it's us against them.
How is that?
That's so rough.
That's rough. Because the worst thing is it just beats his head. It just beats his head.
Yeah. And doesn't it go hand onto his thigh as well? It's like
it's a soft penalty as well,
his hand isn't in an overly unnatural position either.
Yeah, because he's jumping like that. It's bad. It's bad.
So we're at a point now. If there's no further goals, the World Cup final will be decided by VAR.
Well, I put a poll out.
But it's not going to strike. There's more goals here.
I put a poll out when the penalty was awarded, and it's actually closer than I thought. 58% say no, and 42% say that should have been a penalty.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot closer than I thought, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought it would be more like 75-25.
Yeah.
I can see the argument, though, for it be given a handball, though.
That's just so soft.
I can see the argument. Especially...
Go on.
No, just as I say, like, the ball did
For me, you know where the problem lies? He looked at that 20-odd times.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at that, you had to convince yourself the 20th time.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
Yeah.
For me, that is bad.
I'd be interested to know.
And it's a world-class
The worst thing is I so want
save.
Croatia to score, and then it to be 3-2.
Yeah.
I don't want it to. I don't want it to lose like that. I don't want it to. I don't want them to win like this.
I like this, so it's a good final.
I'll tell you what, it's a great World Cup final. The thing for me about VAR, why that isn't a penalty for me, is the whole point of VAR, for me, as far as I interpreted it when it came in, was that it's meant to clear up and be clear and concise.
Yes.
If we're sitting around the sofa and we're having a debate and we don't know, then surely, if it's not clear, you can't give it.
You can't give it. You can see by how many times he double-taked. He went and then went back.
The referee actually went to VAR, walked away and went back to VAR. Which is...
I would love to know
But
what was
as a referee, it is your discretion. It's subjective. The referee is there to make those decisions in his reading of the laws. And again, I disagree with that decision, but...
So then what's the point of having... This is what I'm saying.
Because it gives you a second look at it that he might not have seen.
But give him 20 looks.
Yeah.
For me, it give him 20 looks to have it in the end, for him to convince himself and be like, and for me, that's wrong, personally.
This leads on to a question quite nicely from Steve saying, do you think the use of VAR in this tournament has been successful?
See, up until here, it has.
See, that's a very good point. Up until here,
I said,
here is the World Cup final.
Here's the World Cup final. So for me, it's that what just happened there was wrong for it. But up until it, there was stuff that you wouldn't have seen. There was stuff, and I felt, it's words. You know what I'm saying? And then of course, it puts into players' mind, like, you know what? Even if we normally would get away with something because they can double take. So it's been a bit more clearer. It's a bit more fluent. Whereas here, I think it's totally wrong.
My problem with it is, like, it's just when does the sort of line sort of stop? Like, say for example, the Perisic high boot, like, could that have been pulled back?
I didn't think that was a high boot. My man dived. He dived ahead of it. So I don't think it was a...
But it's interpretation. Nathan, we've got a tweet from Joey Barton, I believe.
Yes, we've got a tweet here from Joey who says, if you think that's a penalty, you're either French or you've never played football. It could ruin a great game, that. How is Perisic meant to get out of the way of that? I hope that's not the key moment of the game.
I got to agree with him, brother.
Yeah, I've got to agree with him.
I've got to agree with him.
Are we all agreeing with Joey Barton? Well,
no.
I like the reply at the top there as well. Thought you were French, though, Joey.
Really good, the French accent.
It would be such a shame if that was the definitive moment in this game.
I would feel for Croatia there.
One positive thing
about... An
about...
own goal and a penalty by VAR is what loses them the World Cup final.
One positive thing about VAR is that, there's only been 1-0-0, is it, in this tournament?
France v Denmark is the only 0-0 that we've seen in the World Cup. The most goals in World Cup history this tournament's had, the most penalties in World Cup history, the most own goals as well. I mean, the VAR's, not the own goals, but the penalties is hugely down to VAR, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the goals thing, though, is not really, like, fair, right? Because there have only been 32 teams in the World Cup since 1998. Like, when you look at the tournaments from, like, 1958, there was a tournament where, like, Hungary scored 22 goals in, like, 3 group games. Like, they just banged them in constantly. So, I mean, like, it's good.
Who were the 22 goal scorers, Pat? I expect you to know this.
I'm pretty certain it was Puskás and Kokshish and all those guys.
There we go.
He knows it all.
But I think,
chance for Croatia.
Oh, off the back of him. No.
Another chance.
Why is he hitting that?
Croatia still look dangerous, don't they?
That was Dejan Lovren.
Oh, Loves!
Imagine if he put that in, then you feel like an idiot.
I'm going to put out
Then you feel like an idiot.
centre-halves in the World Cup. I think France have been poor at the back today. I'm putting it out there. I think they've been very poor at the back.
Up until
Well, certainly from these set pieces, yeah, they haven't dealt with it.
Dejan Lovren would have been... Sure, is that Ballon d'Or if he'd scored that?
Yeah, probably the best
he
player
might
of all
have
time.
so. 43rd minute.
This has been great.
Yeah.
Corner
I really
for
didn't think this
Croatia.
was going to be
This
this
has been probably
final.
one of the most open matches at this cup.
Oh my God.
Wow. Play for handball, man. Just see what happens.
Bayo, I read an interesting... In fact, we'll just watch this corner first. Rakitic. Barcelona's Ivan Rakitic had a good tournament as well. Whips the ball in, good chance. Handball! Is that a handball?
You've got to claim it.
Appeals.
Yeah. Appeal it.
Go for it.
Appeal everything.
handball.
Because that's what you can say that isn't unfair on Croatia, right? Which is they're perfectly at liberty to appeal the same sort of thing.
Yeah, I'd appeal everything.
Yeah.
My fear, though,
God.
with the VAR is that you can appeal everything. It's just
So
going to like a
strong.
basketball score. Like, that's my fear with it. Like, when's the line?
Interesting now. The ref...
A throw goes out, the ball
that's
goes out for a
cheated,
throw
it's
and it
down.
doesn't get given. Or it goes out and it doesn't, and it shouldn't have been a throw. And then you're like, from the throw, there's a cross, and from the cross, there's a goal. How far back do you go, like, in the chain of, like, causes?
That's the issue I have.
But I think other sports use it more effectively in that, like, each team has an allotted number of challenges. Say one per half that they could challenge. They could go to the referee. I think that hit his hand.
I would like to see that.
Can you go and check it? And then the referee can just use it as much
Like
as he
tennis.
wants when he.
Yeah. No, I'd like to see that.
challenge that. And then, but if you get it wrong, you lose your.
Because otherwise it's just breaking up the game so much.
But I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. Like, when you think that this is the first major tournament it's been used at, I kind of think that we look at 5 years, 10 years time. I think that this is going to be like pretty good. Like, I don't think it breaks up other sports too much. Like, I don't think this is that bad an implementation.
I think other sports have implemented it much more seamlessly.
Yeah.
But if you were in that crowd there,
football's I don't know. It's difficult to stop the game in football the way it is in, say, rugby, where you do have natural stoppages in the game every now and then.
But I mean, it was used in hockey pretty seamlessly as well, and it's a similar sport. It's faster than this as well, so
It's true.
I think it's been used all right, but it could become much much
Yeah, I definitely. But no one. I don't think anyone's saying that this is going to be the final form of VAR. I think this is already better than what we've seen in the Bundesliga last season.
Croatia.
Chance.
France are defending corners terribly. This World Cup final, it's been a brilliant World Cup final. It's breaking all sorts of records. If we look into the main monitor here, it's the first World Cup final to see as many as 3 goals before half-time since 1974. West Germany 2, Netherlands 1. Also the first World Cup final ever to see an own goal we saw earlier. So it's been extremely exciting first half, and we are into the first minute of 3 additional minutes added on. And France, for me, have defended pretty poorly, and I think will find themselves quite lucky to go in at half-time 2-1 up.
Yeah, that's what we want, though, bad defences, because the defences overall have been pretty good at this World Cup, so it's quite nice to see everybody give up.
By the way, Modric's been very quiet, no?
Yeah, he has been.
He has been quiet, yeah.
There's an interesting question here from Waterboy90. Would you prefer Pogba or Modric in your team?
So
would you prefer Pogba or Modric in your side?
Well, I mean, Modric's about
answer.
6 years younger.
Modric.
No, he's much younger than that, in fact. I think he's like... Pogba, I believe, is 24. 24, and Modric is 33, I think.
33?
So,
but if you're asking on current form, I'd have Modric all day long and Pogba.
Who would you rather play with? Who would you rather have behind you as a forward?
It's difficult for me. I think Modric...
As a player, though, Modric has got...
Modric's a better player. Modric's a better player. Modric picks you out. He'll find runs. He can dictate the control of the game. And he's a specimen. He can get up and down. It's just they're different players. I mean, you'd really want to have both of them. They will complement each other.
You're being greedy
now. I'm being
on the
greedy.
fence
I've got to.
Pogba, Modric, Mark Noble. Midfield right behind you.
Ooh.
Perfect.
We are going up that league. Getting to the champ this season with them boys.
Oh, the pace. Massively overhit that. Yeah, Mbappe hasn't had much service either.
Yeah.
No.
One or two.
It's been an interesting game, actually. Some of the key players we picked out have all been fairly quiet. Mbappe's been quiet. Griezmann up until the goal, Modric, Rakitic. We haven't heard a lot from the...
my guy stepped up, players.
Everything's come from set pieces so far. You know, the pen came from set piece, the own goal came from a set piece.
Interesting. Both teams have only had one shot on target each.
And yet there have been 3 goals.
Yeah, there have been 3 goals.
Oh my God.
Hey, that was my guy as well, bruv.
Croatia not doing a lot wrong here at all. Silly foul, very silly foul.
You wasn't catching him. You wasn't catching him.
He needs to bring him back.
I read an instant quote from Pogba, who was saying his holiday after France lost Euro 2016 final, he said wasn't a holiday. He said he couldn't enjoy it. He couldn't get that game out of his head, losing the final. 2 years later, they're in another final. How much of motivation is it losing big games sometimes?
Massive.
Can that work in a positive way?
Massive. We're going back 12 years. I lost Swansea playoff final.
Yeah.
Next day, went to Miami, and it was the worst holiday.
Was it?
For 3 days, and then it got good. I ain't gonna lie. No, but it was. He's right. You can't enjoy it because whenever you have a moment where you're just sitting there, it replays over your mind. It replays.
Yeah.
And it took me 10 years to kind of put them goals to bed when I went and got promoted with Wimbledon in the final.
Yeah.
But you do use that as a motivation. You're like, nah, I don't want to feel what that feel. I remember seeing them jumping up and down, holding the trophy, and that's what he will use. He will use that. And it's a way, it's 2 years, so use that as a motivation to be like, nah, man, I don't want to feel what I felt. I want to try and kick on and have that success. So, yeah, man, you can. I think it's a part of life to have negatives to kind of draw on to then know what the positives feel like.
Yeah, and they're doing well so far. Well, could say lucky, but all that matters is the score at this stage. France 2, Croatia 1 at half-time. Got great incentives from our mates at Sky Bet. Croatia to win the World Cup final is 4-1 with Sky Bet. Obviously, odds subject to change. See skybet.com for latest. You must be 18+, and full terms and conditions apply. Right, Bayo, as you know, throughout the summer, you've been recreating some of the most famous World Cup goals in history. We also picked a very hot day, didn't we, to get you down?
A very, very, very hot day to get me down. It was fun. I had no left hip after it, but no, it was fun. I had a blast.
You enjoyed doing them, and you did.
blast.
To be fair to him as well, you did a lot of them over a long space of time. So it didn't give you a day each to do each one.
Yeah, no, he didn't. You really didn't. So I'm going to hold that against you. But no, I had a blast. I'm not going to lie. I had a blast doing it.
On that note, this is Adi Bayrak recreating Jeff Hurst's famous World Cup goal for England. Here it is.
Hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy Adi Bayrak, a.k.a. The Beast. And I'm again back here at the Soccer AM car park to recreate the famous Jeff Hurst goal, last goal, to make it 4-2 to win England the World Cup against West Germany at Wembley Stadium. Here we go. We're going to do the first attempt on my right foot. Here we go. Here it is. So Hurst, he drags it. Then he thinks it's all over. He moves it. It is now. But he takes it on this is his left. Drags it. All right. He brings it to his left. There, So he brings it, slows, drags it. There it, Last minute's World Cup final against West Germany. But I salute you, Hurst. You dig it. He drags it. Get the height. I'm trying to get into the frame of Jeff Hurst, you know, my guy. So last minute, he dribbles it slow, getting him up, drags it to the side. There it is, shifts it. Hurst, he takes it, moves it to the side. Nah, that's a fight. What I say last time? Make sure the air is equally distributed in the balls. There we go, he moves it to the side. There it is. They think it's all over. It is now. Dunkville, Hursty, my guy. Damn, they weren't doing that in '66.
It's a pretty good finish. It's a pretty good finish from Akinfenwa, though he's had trouble with some of them so far.
Phenomenal technique for such a big bloke.
If he were here, I think we'd have to talk about the Tim Cahill one. Did you see that one? It took him like 100 attempts to nail it. and he only just about did it at the end. So we should get all the insults in while he's out of the room.
100 for the Joe Cole one, but he didn't get either.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, you know.
Embarrassing. Yeah, have you guys got anything from social? Let's see what people are saying at half-time.
The questions are rattling through. So just a reminder for anyone at home, just leave your comments on YouTube and Facebook. And just remember to hashtag the football social at the end. We're going to keep reading them out to gas the guys. Yeah, so this is my favourite comment that I've seen so far. If you were England, if it was England playing, you guys wouldn't be this one up in arms. Obviously, talking about the penalty, Harry Kane would be getting his 5th penalty.
Is that true? I mean, this is the first live stream I think we've done where actually the majority of people on the sofa are not England supporters.
Yeah.
Massively outnumbered.
Well, I know Smithy, who isn't here to defend himself.
Very impartial, very impartial guy. Wow. We just watched you absolutely nail that one in the top corner.
Oh, I know.
It was a nice finish, that one.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I couldn't do it on my left. I know he did it on his left, but I was injured on my left. But it was a nice finish.
Oh, injured. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, but no, it's believable. I liked it. So we've got anything else?
Yeah, so just to follow on, we've got a question here from Dean Said, who asks, who do you think deserves the Golden Glove? Time to give a bit of appreciation to some of the goalies in the tournament.
Bayer, you seen anyone?
You know what? I'll have to overly admit, I think Pickford's been on job. I literally think I know there was talk about the tournament, who England's #1, and I think he stepped up, massively.
Because there was a lot of debate.
It was massive. I think his stock has risen massively.
He's got some melon.
So he's up there. No, it's cool, man. You got to do what you got to do. So he's up there. Lloris is also. Lloris, you got to say Lloris is in the final. But for me, of course, I think that getting to the semi-final, I think Pickford should 100% be up there. For Golden Glove. So I think he's been impressive.
Yeah, cool. Well, I think we've got another VT to go to. It's the best of your car park goals. So, I mean, some of your highlights, some of the greatest moments.
Show, man.
Thought you'd like that.
Just shout out, people. It's your boy, Eddie Bayer, a.k.a. The Beast. And today, I'm here to recreate another classic goal. Hey, Smee! Hey, get over me, man. The Samba gods. I know I'm built like a truck and a tank. Technique to my right.
No one's ever done that before.
That's terrible. That is terrible. There it is. Oh! Wait. There's a killer bee in the bed. Are you okay? Are you okay, huh?
There's a fly, actually.
Oh, same thing, killer fly. Tippy. Wow, that's terrible. Oh, I've cleared the roof. Oh, hello? Think like Ronaldinho. No, don't think like, that's like Pablo Bino or something. No. Oh! Jeez! Smee, this is it, right? All right, well, say it with some conviction.
This is it, Bayer.
All right, thank you. All right, here we go. Stay! Oh, no! Last one. This is it. I told you to make it dramatic.
I'll make it dramatic.
I'm telling you. Here we go. There it is! Oh, no! What are you doing to me? Oh, God! No, bang! Hey, damn, I had to put a remix on that. I'll tell you. Bang! That's a remix of Celebration as well. Ha ha! There it is! Oh! Slow-mo it! Scores it. He sets it. Then he whips it. Oh! Hey, wait a minute. Scores didn't celebrate like this. Scosey didn't celebrate like this. Oh! Here we go. He moves it. He moves to the side. There it is. They think it's all over. It is now. Guy. Damn, they weren't doing that in '66.
Guys, round of applause for Bayer. That is brilliant. Mate, I've got to say, brilliant seconds there. What was your favourite goal?
I had to be the Belgian one.
David Platt.
Ah, the Platty one. And we was talking prior, I'm thinking, we're going to be here for a while. We was. And it was, I had like everything against me, the sun, your service. You know, I just had everything against, it was that. And then when we cleared it, that was real elation.
I think we've got to show another angle. We've got this is the slow-mo of the Platt goal. Definitely my favourite as well. The technique on this goal is absolutely superb. We've not quite got it yet. Here it is, the slow-mo of David Platt's goal. Look at this.
Bang.
Oh, and it's so clean as well. It doesn't hit the rim, it goes straight in.
Absolute dart.
Unbelievable goal.
Which goals from this tournament do you think you'll be recreating next time? Maybe that Pavard one, that France one against
that was a good one.
That was a few goal of the tournament.
Yeah, for me, I'm buzzing on that. The free kick one?
Free kick.
Oh, you know,
do that on a light day, though.
You saw me on the struggle with the Ronaldinho.
Do you know what we loved about this is so I spoke to Bale, we got him in, and then we didn't tell him about the goals. He was recreated until he got in, and you'd watch him and go, oh, hell no.
That was a strike as well.
That was a good strike as well.
Nice. Anytime it's in off the post,
yeah.
But off the back of a very good season, Bale, that you had.
Yeah, no,
unbelievable goal-scoring season. It was proved there in the car park as well, wasn't it?
I'm just letting you know, people know I'm more than just a big guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, FIFA, you was watching, my skill stats must go up to at least 3, you know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with that. Just, you know, I like to kick down doors and that, you know what I'm saying? Kick down doors.
You said to me as well that you're going to call out some of your teammates, because your teammate, they went on social media, a lot of people saw those goals.
Yes.
And your teammates...
Yes.
Do you want to call them out now?
Oi.
Down to camera 1 there?
Where are we at? Where am I looking?
Big camera 1, there you go.
Every single one of you, Sam Saunders, Luke O'Neill, Marcus Bean, Paris O'Neill, Anthony Stewart, all of the Wickham, because they were all talking about how many takes did it take you to do? How many? I was like, what? We're going to get you lot down the car park and we're going to pull it on. And I'm going to show you that Beast is number 1, all right? So you all got it. I'm calling you man out. It's been done. Thank you.
The challenge has been set. Let's see if they want to do it.
That was a finish as well.
Did you know that? I want to see a head-to-head between you and is it Torres?
No, there's no head-to-head.
I want to see that happen.
What? Let me say something. This is real. Before the tournament, people were talking, there's this big guy, strong guy, rah. How many times did he go down on the floor when he was going? You have not seen me on the floor unless I'm tired or I run the channel. That's the only time you see me on the floor. He was going down. He's soft. I'm sorry. I'm putting it out there. If you want to see me and have a conversation with me, the Panama guy, let's have this conversation.
Right, who else are you going to get angry about? The Panama guy, the Wickham, anyone else?
I'm all right now. And the VAR and the referee. No, I'm good.
Fuel prices at the minute.
Don't get me started. 5 kids, I've got a big-ass car. It's just a lot.
Oh, dear. Pato, Alex, we'll try and get back to the game now because I mean, it's a brilliant,
I don't really want it.
Brilliant conversations. We've got a brilliant stats that is in the big screen. There is even Perisic. Great goal, that. Yeah. Even Perisic is only the second player in the World Cup history to score a goal and concede a penalty in a World Cup final, after Marco Materazzi in 2006.
I think Materazzi went on to score a penalty in the shootout there in Italy, won it, obviously. Yeah. So, I mean, if it ends that way for Perisic, I'm sure he'll be perfectly happy.
Yeah, be very happy.
He got Zidane sent off in that final as well, Materazzi.
He did, yeah.
It's a pretty amazing game for him.
As a final so far, compared to other World Cup finals, it's been quite good, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's been a lot more open than I thought it would be.
Yeah, certainly better than the Netherlands-Spain. I remember that one being particularly brutal, not just because the Netherlands lost, but because it was dire.
It was a foul fest, wasn't it?
Dirty team. Pato, it's interesting you were saying about what goals would Akinfenwa recreate from this World Cup, and we mentioned 1 or 2. But looking back on these highlights, there's loads of great goals, isn't there?
This goal is unbelievable. Cherishev's goal for Russia against Croatia, he hits it first time, he hits it so sweet, and the keeper just stands still, which always makes it look good. Look at this. Wham.
So Gerard did ask who has scored the best goal. So
I was a big fan of Pavard's goal because of I think there's goals that look better from 30 yards out that hit the top bin, but I think as a technique, the way that he cuts
he was like almost horizontal when he hit it as well.
Similar to Nacho's, but it was that.
Which one was that one?
Pavard, the French goal, the France against Argentina.
The one where he hit across it. Yeah, I'll give you that.
I also
did Toni Kroos
as well.
Jesse Lingard's worth a shout,
it wasn't even in there. Oh, it was.
You know who else wasn't in there? Cavani's first goal against Portugal.
Yeah.
Pings the ball out to the side. Suarez
the header.
amazing ball, yeah. I wish it had been cleaner from the head.
Yeah. But that's why I think it was, because it was a bit off. He's got a big-ass chin and that, and it just banged on that.
But for, like, all-round forward play, that was
very
amazing.
good.
But I think you have to mention Toni Kroos as well, considering the magnitude of that goal. You know, injury time, and he just bangs the top end.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
That's a good shot. I also think Lionel Messi.
Oh, yeah.
Not Nigeria for.
No, let's stop that.
The
two touches.
Bring that up again, man.
2 touches.
Let's bring that up again. Let's move on swiftly.
Right, the players are out. We will move on swiftly. The players are out for the second half. Guys, social corner. What's the mood been like from the first half? What do people think of the game?
Everybody's kind of just talking about VAR and have come to the same conclusion that we have. That VAR has been pretty good at the World Cup, but that wasn't a penalty. That's too harsh to give as a penalty.
Yeah.
Don't know what you find, Nathan. What do you find?
So at the minute there's still questions coming through. So we've got a good one here. It's from Stephen on Football Daily YouTube, and he's saying that France have been finalists at Euro 2016. They're finalists at World Cup. They're looking good at half-time. With their young squad, do you think France could go on to dominate international football for the foreseeable future?
No.
That's it. That's it. Question over.
No. Thank you, Paul.
No, sorry, Stephen. No.
Thank you, brother.
Nathan, remind the viewers how they can get their questions in as well.
Yeah.
On what platforms? Because we are everywhere right now, aren't we?
Yeah. So Soccer AM YouTube, Football Daily YouTube, and also on Facebook as well, on both of those channels. And if you just remember to comment, and at the end, hashtag #TheFootballSocial, and we'll get the questions to these lovely lads.
And you've got another stat for us, Nathan, in the wall?
Yeah. So what is this? So the only team to win a World Cup final having been trailing at half-time was Uruguay against Argentina in the first ever showpiece in 1930.
You got there in the end.
I know. I was, somewhere else.
So we are underway. France 2, Croatia 1. I'm quite sad this World Cup's going to be over, guys. It's just a realisation that... Seeing
that
watching tomorrow night, babe. Are you a Love Island fan or anything like that?
No, I really ain't. And my
I'm not either.
My brother's been trying to get me to watch it. I'm not that. I'm going to be worried pre-season, so I'm straight back into running around. So there's more goals in this game.
I think there are more goals.
Yeah.
Look at Croatia. Look how many men they're committing forward already.
Patrick, do you think you'd like to see either team making any changes? France sitting on the lead, or Croatia bringing on any attacking players? What do you expect to see?
I think Croatia will probably bring on Kramaric at some point. They may bring on Kovacic if they need fresh legs.
I like Kovacic.
But I think I love Kovacic as well. I hope he makes a move this summer because he hasn't played enough at Real Madrid.
No.
But I think, then again, it's hard to get in the team over Kroos or Modric.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe
He's going to have his first shot.
If France are still a goal up in the latter stage of this game, then you'd expect to see Griezmann, Dembele types, guys to bring it on and stretch it on the counter. Maybe
France have
Giroud
such a deep squad as well.
I want to make a point about Giroud. I think there's a similar aspect with Giroud and Sterling in this tournament. Neither have scored a single goal between them. Both Sterling, for me, faced unfair criticism.
Oh, yeah.
But in terms of they'll both, let's put it this way, they'll both be disappointed with the lack of goals they've scored. But I think if you take either of Giroud or Sterling out of that team, the system would be so different, and like England would not be as good as they were if Sterling wasn't in the team. And the same with Giroud. Giroud does a lot of the ugly stuff that people don't realise. You take him out of the team and the whole shape would be different. Do you see where I'm coming from?
100%. For me, I don't get why the media only concentrate on Sterling's negatives. I think he is a constant threat and just puts fear.
Great ball.
It's a good effort.
Fantastic save.
Really good effort from Tayo.
It's interesting because he will look at that, Bayo, though, as his goal return for England isn't what it is for Man City. 2 goals in 40 games, whatever it is. So he will be disappointed in that. But he offers so much more, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. And I don't get why they get so fixated on that. Don't get it twisted. You do get frustrated. Yeah. And he would get frustrated.
Had a few chances.
You know what? I should have scored that. And, and then here we go, set pieces. It's
a chance to goal.
Vida, bruv. You know what I'm saying?
Goal kick, France.
You need Pilates.
But it's also not just the media as well. Like, speaking to England fans, a lot of them are divided on Sterling.
I don't get
I think that's stupid. I honestly think that's stupid. Like, we were here watching the Sweden game, right? And I don't think England win that game without Sterling. The way he
makes
a save,
by the way, Lloris. Great save.
Yeah, you'd expect him to make it, wouldn't you?
He has been one of the goalkeepers of the tournament, though. The save he made against, was it Denmark? Australia? One of them in the group stage was phenomenal. Played well against Belgium. He has both these keepers actually have been brilliant. I think Subasic I've been really impressed with as well.
Yeah. Speaking about that as well, we put a poll out earlier to ask who should win the Golden Glove Award.
Yeah.
And actually, 62% people have said Jordan Pickford.
Wow.
20% Hugo Lloris.
Oh, great ball.
16%
Sorry, Nate, say that again. The percentage split.
Yeah, so 62% Jordan Pickford.
Pickford first.
Yeah, 20% Hugo Lloris. And 16% is Subasic.
I think that's quite fair.
Yeah.
I think Lloris should be closer to Pickford than that. I think it's tighter.
And no one's mentioning Courtois, and I think Courtois made more saves than any of the other.
Courtois made more saves. I think the importance of the saves that Subasic and Pickford have made.
Yeah.
He's such
another
a
chance for
the save that I loved of Pickford's was last minute against Colombia in extra time. I can't remember. And that was unbelievable. It was amazing slow
There were two as well against Sweden. That was mad. I was like,
yes, there were.
It was such a big moment in the game as well. Because it completely changed the game.
I find it remarkable though that I looked at Pickford the season gone, and I didn't think he was good, but not that good. So it's interesting how you step up.
I mean, he's good with his feet.
You have to play players on form, don't you? You don't necessarily play players that are for their name. You've got to play players on form.
I mean,
there's no point in doing
he wasn't offered a
lot
of protection during the season. He wasn't playing with a fantastic defence, and he was taking a lot of shots.
Same as Butland and Pope actually.
But it's just interesting that beforehand there was a big debate over the number one spot, but now you wouldn't even question it, would you?
No, not at all.
I think he's taking his chance really well. I mean, he's so young as well. His confidence
24.
must be sky high.
I don't think France have been, they've not been brilliant at the back today at all.
But
that ball over the top shouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah.
No.
Good awareness though from Lloris, right? You've got to say quick off the
question there that mentioned about France being finalists in 2016, finalists here again. I mean, I think they're all right, but they stumbled their way to the final in 2016. They haven't really hit massive heights here. They've had maybe one or two properly good games. But they still consistently find themselves in the latter stages of tournaments.
That's all that matters. They find a way to win, don't they?
I think we've seen that. I think it's the shortcomings of Deschamps you see as a coach, at this tournament. And actually, when you say, I agree with you that Giroud's been useful, but I think that part of the reason they weren't able to get more out of an Mbappe, Dembele, Griezmann front line is because Deschamps is just simply not a very good coach. I think that a different coach could get a lot. There's no way that you should be failing with that front line.
But my point is, watching that game is that Giroud wins everything in the air. He's that focal point number 9 that allows Griezmann and Mbappe to have a free reign. When that first game, when they were playing as that 3, it just didn't look like the system suited those players. That was why.
I get that. I think it's harder when people know there's free quickens. They leave no space behind, and it's harder to break that down. So even if you do drop off, because Giroud can win headers and bring players into play, they can play off, and then if they do play high, they've got the 2 quickens to run in behind. So I just think it's that you can do more with the 3 of them, if you understand what I'm saying.
You think Giroud pulls their defensive line out?
Yeah, I just think that he can do both. So if they drop off, he can get in. If they stay high, the quick players will then therefore be able to run in behind, whereas with the 3 of them, it's just if they drop off, there's no space in behind, so then it nullifies what they're. Here we go. Here we go. Open your legs. Open your legs.
Oh, he's going to get fouled.
Good save.
Good save. When he gets into motion, he is scary.
Bayo, we're talking about Croatian. Again, got to admire for the size of their nation. What an achievement
this is. Running on
what's going on?
Yes.
There is a huge pitch invasion going on, which has sort of killed the flow of the game, really. Disappointing. I think I've only seen 2 pitch invasions this year in football: the World Cup final and the Champions League final.
Crystal Palace as well.
Okay,
how was that game?
What is going on there? Come on.
What's happening?
I don't get what you get out of that.
Oh, it must be so frustrating.
Just showing this chance again. Mbappe, raw pace.
He is scary, isn't he?
Vida's a bit lucky there. He's straight on pushing him.
He's trying to do as much as he can.
As much as he can get away with.
But fair enough. I mean, that is what you do, I guess.
Yeah, that's not for me. That's not a foul.
Nah.
It's
but again,
just
some defenders have been really stupid because of VAR as well. They still obviously manhandled players in the box, and you're never going to get away with it.
Yeah, the effect of VAR could take a few years, right, for players to actually learn to defend a different way, where they know they're not going to get away with a little push, a little trip, a little kick. Those things are going to come back to haunt you.
I reckon you just took that ball back off him.
So it'd be good. It'd be actually nice to see some of that stuff come out of the game, and also diving and stuff as well. It'd be good to see that punished a little bit better.
But then again, you could say Neymar dives quite a few times, and
you definitely could say that.
You definitely.
I think quite a lot of people have said that.
There were no ramifications.
At the same time,
yeah, I think there have to be for that kind of stuff to some extent. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean,
wow. I can't believe he got.
I don't think that's a foul, man. I think keepers get so cuddled. Yeah,
so what?
So yeah, what I was trying to say, you get me?
Mollycoddled.
Yeah, same
offside,
thing.
I think. That is a foul.
I'd be pretty terrified if I was a goalkeeper coming up against you.
Yeah, I know. I actually look to try and hurt him.
Let's just go a bit easier on him because he does play for Tottenham.
Should we ask Nathan, the goalkeeper's opinion on that goalkeeping?
N'Golo Kante coming up.
I would have caught it.
Oh, he's been subbed.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I was about to say he looks a bit.
N'Golo Kante has been subbed.
He's had an off day.
And on a yellow
that's
as
really
well,
questionable.
maybe.
And so let us know. I want you guys to let us know what you think in the comments. N'Golo Kante has been so key to France. They are 2-1 up, defending a lead. They're bringing him off. But I would agree with you. I don't think he's having his best game, and he's coming on from Steven Nzonzi. Let us know what you think about that. Pete will pick the best ones. I want to make a point, Bayo. Croatia, whatever happens today, Slaven Bilic was talking in the week, saying this is one of the greatest achievements in Croatian sporting history. He compared it when Goran Ivanisevic won Wimbledon as a wild card and a few other moments. Yeah, and whatever happens, for Croatia to reach their first World Cup final with a population of only 4 million is amazing. Yeah. I've got to ask your thoughts on Kalinic, who was sent home after game one for not coming on as a sub.
Pissed.
What is your thoughts of him? Because whatever happens here, they're having a parade. These players are legends. They're getting a World Cup medal.
For me,
how does he feel?
Look, I'm glad that he's feeling what he should be feeling, because for me, I don't care if you think you should be playing, because I think everybody should want to play.
Right.
Everybody should want to play.
So you don't have a problem with that?
No, I haven't got but then there's ways about going about it. And if a manager then says, come on as a sub, and you think you're too good to come on to help your team as a sub, that's where I have a problem. So getting sent home was a beautiful thing. And now what they've gotten on to do, he's going to be remembered as that guy.
He will be as well.
He'll be remembered as that guy.
You put him into a search engine, and the first thing that will come up will be sent home after one game.
It wasn't like he was injured. It wasn't. Because he said he was too good to sit on the bench.
So you have no sympathy for him at all?
Not at all.
He has to be the saddest man in Croatia right now. Honestly.
Has he let his teammates down as well?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I wouldn't say he's let himself down more, because the teammates have got to the final. So,
have you ever had any teammates who have refused to come on?
Good question.
No.
Have you ever been in a situation?
Any opponents who refuse to come on?
Be honest. have you ever been in a situation, and you're a competitive guy, we know you well.
Yeah.
And you usually do start, but where you've been so upset that the manager hasn't played you, that you've ever thought, I don't want to come on, or you have.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted. And this is what I'm saying. There's times when I felt like I should be starting. I was benched, and then it's 4 minutes left. He's like, get stripped, get on. You're like, what? For 4 minutes? And you go on, and you're maybe you're not running around as much as you normally would. You know, you're sulking a little bit. You know, in my youth, I did that, but I've never got to a point where a manager said, like, come on, and I ain't come on. I think there's two ways of using it. You can be like, all right, cool, I'm going to show you that I should be starting. And I think that's the better way, because you're doing it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? But, man, there's times when... That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's a problem with you thinking you should start. No. I think you should have that burning desire and say, no, man, I always want to start. It's just, if he does bench you and then tells you to come on, I think it's too much to turn around and say, no, I ain't going to come on. I think that's bad.
I mean, I think we can all agree he'll be feeling absolutely devastated now. Oh, we've got some drinks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Look at this. There you go. There you go, lads. Do you want to take some social corner while we give the drinks out?
Yeah. So we've got a question from Gary on Football Daily, and he wants to know. He's asking you guys.
I didn't ask for tea.
Who has been your breakthrough player of the World Cup? Perhaps a player who has made their name in the tournament, and you're expecting to see a lot more of.
Sorry, ask that question again. I was checking.
Breakthrough player of the World Cup.
Pavard.
Someone who you think's going to go on.
Pavard and Trippier, I think, have exceeded expectations. I'd put Maguire in there as well.
There's a few shouts of Rebic as well.
Yes, good
shout. Looking at Trippier, Trippier's created 24 chances in this World Cup, which is more than any other player.
He scored penalty shootout as well, created chances.
Scored a ridiculous free kick.
Rebic is a good shout. Pavard I'd put in there. Pato?
Akanji for Switzerland. Torreira for Uruguay, obviously off to Arsenal now.
What he said.
Yeah, so some of those guys would be interesting to see. Like Akanji, you know, Borussia Dortmund got him in for a pittance in the January transfer window. And it looks like he's a very, very good young centre-back. Like Switzerland, I thought were really impressive defensively. So he'll be somebody we want to see more of, definitely.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned Harry Maguire there, and Ahmed asked the question, Harry Maguire has been linked with a £50 million move to Manchester United. Would this be a good signing, or is it too much money?
Wow.
To be fair, now I don't even look at the price tag. I think inflation when it comes to...
Chance?
Here it is. Oh, shit.
That was an amazing pass by Pogba as well, by the way.
I love Pogba to score.
I would love Pogba to score.
You got to That's a wrap.
Wow, it's a huge goal. These are the scenes in Paris.
Who said 3-1?
French fans are going crazy.
Nobody said 3-1. Nobody said 3-1.
I said 3-0. Closest, I'm taking it.
Wow. Pato, future commentating you.
After the season he's had, Pogba in a way gets a lot of the criticism that Sterling gets. Whenever anything goes wrong, it's always Pogba's fault.
And what a pass from Pogba.
Yeah. Amazing pass, great goal. I'm delighted about that, that's great. They all just stopped playing after the first shot.
I mean, can we just say, not only was the pass from Pogba finished, but Mbappe, the pace to get to that ball.
Stop. Bang.
Unbelievable. Hang on a minute. Should Subasic save that? He hasn't got balance.
He's not balanced on the first one. On the first one, he's just... He wasn't even...
You couldn't see that.
Yeah,
he's taken a step to the left.
He couldn't see, man. He bent it round two players.
Yeah, it's come from behind players.
You can't blame him there.
I mean...
He could have actually slipped in. Maybe, I don't know. It's like Matuidi there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Paul Pogba with a big goal for France.
Oh, what a guy.
I can't wait to see him dabbing around the trophy.
Nathan, what's going on in social media, mate?
Just having a look here. Yeah, so there's an interesting point there from Theodore Voss. So he asks, has Modric really been outstanding this tournament? I'm doubtful. It seems like Rakitic has been the key to Croatia's success.
Do you know what? It's an interesting point, but I think they've both played well. It's interesting that you have to say who's better than the other. Let's enjoy the fact that both of them have done quite well for me. You all right, Bayo?
I'm trying to see what that is.
Do you want a hot chocolate?
Yeah.
Sorry, can Bayo get a hot chocolate, please? Modric, Rakitic, where do you stand with that? I mean, I think they're both fantastic players.
I think they both complement each other. I think... to be fair, I do think Modric's slightly been more influential than Rakitic personally. This can get away from them now.
Yeah, that's a great ball as well.
This can get away from them.
An audacious overhead.
Wow.
This can get away from them now.
Yeah. I mean, what do Croatia need to do now? Like, they just have to go for it, surely.
Dejan Lovren, how's he feeling now, do you think? It's got to be hard, actually. It's interesting that two years ago, Griezmann had lost the Champions League final and
that would have been Somerset.
And the Euros final as well. And Dejan Lovren currently finds himself in the same situation, losing a Champions League final and a month later losing a World Cup final. That's got to be so hard to take. The two biggest games in football that he's been a part of and has a runner-up medal for both.
Silver linings, though. After you get over it, you'd be like, it still was a successful year. Really? After you get over the disappointment of... He's got over the Champions League one. He's got over that now, you know.
Do you think he has? He's got over it? You said earlier that it took you years to get over it. You'll always remember it.
Yeah, OK. But you'll get over it because he'll have to get over it because he's gone into a World Cup. So it's just like when you lose a game, you want a game straight afterwards to try and that's he come into another tournament, got to the final, and then in 2.5 weeks he'll be back playing for Liverpool. Do you know what I'm saying? So
if you're looking at your trophy cabinet and seeing silver medal, Champions League, silver medal, World Cup, does not bring you back being like, I was so close to greatness?
Yeah, but it's not the end of his career. So that's where it is. So it would be, you walk past his house and be like, good season, runners up. And it'll be driving him to try and do that one better. So eventually, just like me, it took me 10 years. So even though I'd remember the losing the playoff final, it took me 10 years. Well, actually, I lost another one in between that. But anyway, let's shift on from that. But it took me then 10 years, and then eventually, when I got it, you know what I'm saying, it's like cool.
Felt even more sweeter.
It felt even more sweeter. Then the next one came along last season. So They come like buses.
Sorry guys to interrupt, but we've, following that Pogba goal, we've got a question here. It's from Matthew on Soccer M YouTube, who says, Didier Deschamps has got the best out of Pogba at the World Cup, but why can't Jose Mourinho do the same at Manchester United? What's the solution?
Ooh.
That's a big money question.
It is an interesting one.
What? Sorry, what was the question?
Mourinho, how does Mourinho get the best out of Pogba that Deschamps seems to be doing?
It's different players. Like you said, he plays alongside Kante. He ain't got a Kante. He hasn't got a Kante at Man United.
Matic had a good season.
Yeah, but Matic ain't Kante.
He can't.
But I think if United play another player like Matic, potentially Fred, two defensive players that do all that defensive work and let Pogba just roam and do what he wants. That's what Pogba's best.
But then at the same time, you've seen his defensive discipline so he's got it. So
yeah, but I don't think he wants to use it that much though. He wants to get forward.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he doesn't, because he still wants to get forward. He got forward here and scored a goal. He still wants to get forward. I just think that maybe it's a mentality. You know, club football is different from international football. It's just, but then again, it's players as well. And that's a hard one. It's how do you get the Pogba that you've seen for France in this tournament, for United.
Is Pogba a shout for the Golden Ball, do you think?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Okay. He deserves a mention.
He does. You need to. Yeah,
he deserves a mention as much as Rakitic.
He's winning this.
I think, I don't know, maybe the problem with Pogba at Manchester United is that Jose Mourinho's got it so regimented and it's so disciplined that he doesn't have that freedom.
But then also, no, it's not even. Also, there's no price tag on his head here.
Yeah.
So he's amongst other. There's a price tag that comes in, so he gets scrutinised for everything at United. 100 million. He hasn't scored. He looks lazy. So that's what comes with the price tag that him going to United.
There's more freedom for him playing internationally.
He's balling. It looks like he's just balling. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mbappe. It's another goal. Kylian Mbappe makes it 4-1.
He's a bad man out here, man.
World Cup.
I tell you, if you don't give him the player of the tournament, you are done crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think he's put 5 goals now. He's got his name on it now.
4-1. These are the scenes in Paris.
It's over. I said it was over. He could get away from there. I love it. What's happened?
Sorry. First team to score 4 goals in a World Cup.
I told you it's not going.
Brazil in 1970. That's famous Brazil.
Final is not going.
Can they score 5 goals in a final, Bayo?
It's going.
We also said before the stream started that their defensive suspect and Mbappe, Giroud and Matuidi are going to rip it apart.
That's a great finish.
No backlift.
As a striker, talk us through that technique.
I ain't gonna lie, I never shoot from that far out, but still, you know, look at that. Look at the kid. Freedom.
He has so much space there, though. They just let him hit.
I'm telling you, it's just for them now, Croatia feeling sorry for themselves and not getting out to it like they would normally. That was a lazy block, and I don't think
I mean, they give him so much space. You can't give anybody that much space at the edge of the box.
It's worth pointing out as well, we've spoken about the Kantés, the Griezmanns, the Pogbas, but we've got to mention the manager, because there's a lot of French fans and fans that didn't think Deschamps was perhaps the best person in that role. He will become only the 3rd person ever to win the World Cup as a player and a manager. You've got to give him credit, surely. They're winning the World Cup final 4-1.
Yeah.
No, Pato?
No.
Really?
No, look.
You don't rate him.
No, look, he's created a solid defensive.
3rd person ever.
He's created. What's that got to do with anything?
As a player and a manager.
Yeah, but why does that make his achievement as a manager better? That he also did it as a player.
4-1 up in a World Cup final.
Yeah, because of the quality of the players. Like, don't get me wrong, he's given them a solid defensive base. I admit he's done that. But the attack has been pretty poor this tournament. Like, this is the first game we've really seen them do much, except against Argentina, who were horrible defensively. Also in this game, you know, there's been an own goal, there's been a penalty which wasn't a penalty, and there have been 2 great hits from outside the box. It's not like they're creating massive chances in the box. It's frustrating.
You're mad hard at here.
That is harsh. That's
like, bar the pen, I'll give you that. They've scored 3 goals in a World Cup final.
Yeah, but I think that's mad hard. I think the players deserve the quality.
I think that's been very harsh.
Yeah, I agree.
I think to say it's Deschamps' brilliance that Pogba's
I said we've mentioned all the players, we haven't mentioned the managers.
Yeah, but I don't think Deschamps gets...
We have to mention
but if we're talking about how many goals they've scored, then I think we give the players credit for that. That's what I'm saying.
But it's so easy to criticise a manager when things go wrong and not give him credit when things go right.
I think the balance has been right. I think that you've got to. So for me, even when you're talking about how do you get Pogba playing like he's playing for France? So even that in itself, you're like, okay, he's doing something that a supposed manager who's won 20 trophies can't do.
Yeah.
So you've got to give him props in the sense because he's given balance to a team and they're winning 4-1 in the World Cup final. So you have to give him props. Not solely, because when you get past that white line, it is the players. But he's picked the players. And even too, let's even look at it. We and Arden was like, raw, he's just took off Kante. What's going to happen? They've scored 2 goals since he's gone off. So in that sense, when you're talking about you live and die by your decisions, you've got to then be able to say, you know what, we got to give Deschamps props because of, somebody just congratulated me with what I'm saying there, thank you. You know, but so that's what I'm saying. What's going on? That's your goalie.
This game is crazy.
And I told you, he will score, and he will score an own goal, and he will score in this.
Bayo's called it. Mandzukic just scored an own goal and a goal there. The scenes in Zagreb.
There's a bit of hope.
There's a bit of hope.
There's not great scenes in Zagreb.
I know, I'm jumping.
There's a player. There's a player
they've scored.
He tried to quiff turn him.
From the best keeper in the world, because he plays for Spurs, this is an unusual move, right?
Wow. That's a bit.
It's like Karius in the.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
Why has he done this?
I wonder if he.
As long as he doesn't blame it on concussion.
Amazing.
Mate, that's mental.
I have to say that is
Three
a
goals
very,
up.
very un-Hugo-like error, but it is an error from Hugo.
Well, they just won the ball back as well.
That's fantastic. That's great.
Please score another goal.
See, I've done that. Just,
Please score.
he has been
please score
brilliant
another
in
goal.
this World Cup. But
This is an amazing World Cup final.
mad.
It's so good.
It's mad.
Has there ever been a worse
Have
mistake
Croatia
in a
got a chance, Bayo, in this? Can Croatia?
They're going to score another goal.
And Bayo,
There's
even
more
more good news for you. Hot chocolates.
chocolates
Cheers,
here.
cheers, everyone.
Salut.
Pato, I want to get your thoughts because obviously you know that, as I say, you know this Croatian team. Well, not personally, but
Very, very
or do you know them
very
personally?
well.
I don't know. Do they change anything here, or has that given them any sort of lifeline? I think we all thought the game was done at 4-1. Do you see any sort of hope for them?
I still think they're going to lose this game. They're going to have to push up more and more to try and get another 2 goals, and France have just got the players to rip through you on the counter.
Yeah.
However, I do want... Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at the space Mbappe's had already in this game. However, I do think we see Kovacic. I do think that we see Kramaric.
Yeah.
Kramaric is definitely going to come on, I imagine. This is normally the stage where we've seen him in previous games. So, I don't know, it should be good. The last 20 minutes, if they go up, they absolutely have the ability to create tons of chances.
But who's
My only
gonna put
question
them
is how
away,
much
though?
space do they leave?
Yeah, I mean, who called 4?
Well, no Kalinic to come off the bench as well, who's like their second choice striker, really. It's rough.
First time, 6 goals in a World Cup final. Bayo, do you know the last time there was 6 goals in a World Cup final?
74.
Oh, 70, right? The Brazil one you were talking about, is that right?
1966.
That's what I said, 66. That's
We're not mentioning that again, all right?
Kramaric.
Come on.
That's how you called it. Here he comes.
Bang.
What will he offer, do you think? What will he offer? What will the manager say to just go out and win the World Cup? That's what.
Yeah, I mean, I think you pretty much say at this point, like,
enjoy it.
Just be good. Yeah, just be good today. But yeah, he's going to drop a little bit deeper and kind of like link things between the midfield and the attack. So in a way, this might allow Modric to play in his more natural central midfield role because Kramaric, like, his instinct is to go into the number 10 kind of position. He's not really a 10, but he's like Griezmann. He's that guy who's going to drop off Mandzukic. So I don't know, if Mandzukic can create space for him, and he's as good at it as Giroud is, then I don't know. I would love them to get a last goal, and let's see how this goes. Well, to get another
amazing,
goal, rather,
wouldn't it?
let's see how this goes. The last
Modric has been pretty quiet for the last half an hour, 40 minutes.
He has, and you know, when you're playing that much further up the pitch and you're used to playing deep, suddenly you have less space, suddenly you have less time.
Well, I think we can all breathe for a bit. It's been an unbelievable World Cup final. 4-2 France. Nate,
just to ask a hypothetical question.
Go on.
Say, for example, all you guys were happy and England beat Croatia in the semi-final. Surely you got to look at this France side and think you could have been in a pretty embarrassing defeat.
I wouldn't say embarrassing. I do think.
I think that France team could have beat you perhaps 5-0.
No, I think England's defence is better than Croatia's defence.
I agree with that.
I agree.
Overall.
What I will say is, when a final, Nate, a one-off game, you never know. You never know in a one-off game, I think.
Yeah.
I quite like the fact England would have gone in as underdogs as well, with sort of no fear. But, yeah, I agree with what you're...
I'm the only one here.
I agree with what you're saying, that I think France would have been favourites against England in a World Cup final, but a one-off game, you never know.
I don't think England would have conceded 4.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
And their wing-backs would have got a lot deeper as well, and it would have been a lot harder.
I also think England would have definitely scored against this France team at some point, especially the way they're playing at the back.
They've been poor defending set pieces consistently throughout this game.
Yeah, and we would have won the World Cup, you're right. We would have won it. Oh, dear.
If England got to World Cup, it would have just been a one game.
You'd have just been happy for that.
It would have been one game. It just would have been one game.
Yeah.
There's a certain Football Daily guy peppering the comments at the minute, Zach Jalab. He's asking, do you still have a signed golf ball that he gave you the other week?
Yes, I do, Zach. I do. We did a challenge, me and Zach. We took it on, and we won. It was very good. I still got it, Zach. Where you at, player? I got it. Woo!
So it's 4-2. Interestingly, Croatia, to get this game to extra time, is at 16-1 with Sky Bet. So Croatia to draw after 90 minutes, 16-1 with Sky Bet. See skybet.com for latest. Don't forget, you've got to be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions.
Apply. I did not apply.
Yeah.
If Croatia bring us back, this will be the greatest comeback.
That would be amazing.
Surely.
Yeah.
Will this be the greatest match in football history if Croatia win this now?
The greatest.
That's a big show.
It's a big show, isn't it? Let us know in the comments.
I don't know. I mean, there are too many Tottenham players on the pitch for this to be the greatest match in football history, but still.
What, one?
Yeah, way too many.
There's one more goal in this. It's just
Credit to Lloris for making this more fun, though.
We should talk about that, obviously. Allegiances aside, it was an error from Hugo there. If France win the World Cup, will he care about that? So it goes back to, like, England won a penalty shootout, Jordan Henderson...
Wouldn't care.
Didn't really care. Obviously, he preferred to miss. He won't care if he wins.
Wouldn't care. Even when they meme it out, they're going to meme it, they're going to put music on it.
And he'll just show him pictures of his World Cup final medal.
He'll laugh it and be like, oh, I'm glad you, man, got me out of that. That's it.
Yeah.
Great.
There's another goal in there anyway.
It's very open, Bayo, isn't it? Are you surprised how open this is for a World Cup final?
Nah, it's not, because they got to go for it.
But it's been open all game, though, that's the thing. Like, even the first half when it was, like, 1-1.
We said this would be different than other World Cup finals because this World Cup in a whole has been different. It hasn't been cagey at all.
No.
You know, they've gone from it from day dot.
It epitomises the tournament, doesn't it, really, this World Cup final?
And good attackers make games look open, right? You know, like, this is the thing. Like, we constantly say how good this midfield is in Croatia. Well, they are going to get through, like, that France midfield. They have the ability.
It's interesting we were talking about the Golden Glove as well, goalkeeper of the tournament.
In the box, you look in the box.
And I think Dortmund put it out, and I think Subasic and Lloris, quite rightly before this game, were two that were mentioned. One, Lloris has made an individual error, and the other keeper's let in four. So, I mean...
you have to... They're above the list.
Pickford, surely, then.
Pickford it is.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I mean,
what are you doing?
When someone does that, when a fullback does that as a striker...
You give him the look of death.
You do.
Yeah, man, you give him the look of death.
Like that.
Yeah.
There's a question here that we've got, but just before, just to remind viewers to keep sending in your questions into Facebook and into YouTube, and just remember to comment the Football Social. But the question here that's from Jack on Football Daily YouTube, and he says... Obviously, he's commenting what an amazing game it is, but he's also said, can you recall a better World Cup on this? After all, we've only seen 1-0-0. So can you recall a better World Cup?
It's been an amazing World Cup, like we said earlier. Most goals, penalties, goals. There's been controversy. The fact that England done well. Best ever, Pato? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, there's a limit to... I've only been watching since '98, and the '98 one, because it's the first one I remember, will always be like... You know,
the 98 one is my favourite because I was in France during the final as well.
I think the games have been better.
Wow, were you? I was 94 for some reason.
94, yeah, USA.
The USA one, I just remember it because I remember watching it in the family, and Nigeria was in there, and it just looked like it would have been electric to been there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, huge crowds.
I think in terms of entertainment, this one's been amazing.
Yeah. And just all round. I mean, even this last week, right? You get to the last week of the World Cup. Normally, games are a bit thin on the ground. You're a bit bored. Ronaldo goes to Juventus. Like that. I know that's not part of the World Cup, but in a way, it's part of like the whole. The football has been very entertaining over the last month.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's like it's been ripped up because you know football normally it's a creature of habit. Football, so it kind of follows suit. Whereas this World Cup's just ripped it up, and you don't know what's going to happen, and that's the good thing about this World Cup.
I just remember at like previous major tournaments, you would have maybe teams in the group stages playing very sort of boring defensive style, just scared to concede. Well, it doesn't seem like there's been that at all. So
you've got a stat for us, Nath, I believe, in the wall about good stat about Mandzukic.
Yeah, so Mario Mandzukic has become just the 5th player to score in both World Cup and European Cup Champions League finals.
Wow.
After Ferenc Puskas, Zoltan. I can't pronounce that surname. You can help me up with that, Pato.
That is impressive, isn't it?
Gerard Müller and Zinedine Zidane.
Wow, he's in good company there. Goes back to what we were saying about Mandzukic. He scores big goals, doesn't he?
He really does.
Big game player.
So Mandzukic has become the 5th player to score in both the World Cup and European finals, and also the only player ever to score an own goal. He's had an eventful game.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, you know, like, look how that goal came from him chasing down Lloris when his side is 4-1 down.
Yeah,
that's pretty amazing, really. Like, in the last game of the World Cup, after going to extra time, he's 31 as well. Like, I mean, and that guy's still rocking after a long season
even if you're 4-1 down,
it's really impressive.
It's the World Cup final. You still need to give it everything.
Sure, but there are lots of, you know. But we were saying just now, for instance, the centre backs not getting out to Mbappe when he takes his shot. Like, it's great that he's doing that.
I don't think that's them being lazy. I think they've just switched off a bit.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's nice that Mandzukic hasn't, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, let's hope that he can get another one and then...
There's more Mandzukic stats we can bring you. We've got breaking Mandzukic stats every 5 minutes, more than 5 minutes, in fact. He is just the second player. This is incredible. The second player in World Cup history. This isn't World Cup finals. This is World Cup history to score a goal for his side and an own goal in a single game after Ernie Brandt's for the Netherlands versus Italy in 1978. Pato, your top 5 Ernie Brandt stats, please.
The worst. The worst. Great World Cup, 1978. One of the ones where the Netherlands went to the final.
Whatever happens, Mandzukic is going to struggle to sleep tonight, Bayo, surely. He must have so much going on in his head.
Oh, good football.
Right. 12 minutes to go. It is 4-2 to France. A goal now for Croatia would be incredible.
He's running you.
But Mbappe's on the ball.
He is running you.
Uh-oh. Toliso's the only one supporting him.
It's worth talking about the golden boot now, because it's a bit tighter. Harry Kane is on 6, and does that goal put Mbappe on 4? 4 does it?
Harry Kane's good, man.
Griezmann's on 4 as well.
Griezmann's on 4.
But I think Griezmann's got 2 or 3 assists.
Which does help us, in the... But I think...
Yeah, I think Kane's got that pretty much wrapped up.
He's got that wrapped up.
Croatia need to score here.
We've got a question here from Jeremy on Football Daily Facebook, and he asks, who has been the biggest disappointment at this World Cup, whether that's an individual player or a team? So
Argentina.
Germany.
You think?
As a team.
Germany as well.
Timo Werner. I thought Timo Werner was going to absolutely kill it this World Cup, and he was woeful. He was missing for
in that squad?
Yeah,
that was the most ridiculous.
I was going to say Gabba.
It was the most ridiculous. They were crying out for him.
Yeah, they were, weren't they?
Crying out for him.
I could watch this Croatia side all day. I think those guys have got to be up there, haven't they? Like, we all thought that Brazil were going to produce more. We all thought that Gabi Jesus was going to bang goals. God, who else?
I literally look at the Argentina squad and I think that their squad is intense. I think they got some real good players. And I just think they so underachieved. I know there was a lot of wranglings going in the camp, but boy, I think they really
the problem with Argentina, they've always been top heavy. You know, they've always had amazing attacking players, but suspect defence.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent, but it's not necessarily distributed evenly through the sides.
I mean, when Dybala's struggling to start, but Sergio...
But I think it's like the England golden generation, Argentina, for me. They've got so many players in similar positions, like you had the Higuain, Messi, Aguero. They didn't know where to put them. It's like the Scholes on the left debate. It was like there had too many good players in the same positions that I felt like the gaffer didn't know where to play people. Substitution... I think Giroud's gone off. Yeah, so Olivier Giroud is probably going to get hasn't scored a single goal. But will he care? No, he won't.
Did he get a shot on target in the end or not?
Looks like he might get. Is that Nabil Fekir that's come on?
Yeah, it is.
Pato, big fan of this player, aren't you?
Yeah, I think he's great. He works pretty hard defensively, but he's very creative from the wide position. I think he got 17 goals, 8 assists in Ligue 1 last season. You know, it was pretty impressive stuff, given that 2 seasons ago he spent the whole year out with an ACL. I mean, in this game, he's just going to be hard to get the ball off, and he's got a decent pace on the counter as well. I think that it looks like Croatia are going to make a more attacking sub. I think they've brought on Marco Piazza, who's a winger, but I'm not sure who's come off for him. I thought it was going to be Shimo Vassal.
There is so much going on in this game, to be fair. Nabil Fekir linked with Liverpool as well, Bayo.
Who is?
Nabil Fekir, France.
Yeah.
Linked with Liverpool. Do you think Liverpool need extra players? There seems to be...
We just signed Shaqiri.
You happy with Shaqiri?
Yeah, man, he's a mini beast. I like him.
A mini beast? Talk to me about the levels of beast. You've got BMO certified beast mode. So you've got
certified beast mode,
which is who?
That's just me. I just chilling. I'm just chilling at the top.
Certified beast mode.
No, you got me, Lukaku, certified when he wants to be. That's like the certification one.
Certification,
Drogba forever will be there, you know what I'm saying? And then you got like the mini beasts. Mini beasts, the little tanks like Shaqiri, you know, them man there. I think of a couple others, and then you just got certified beast mode.
And where would I be, for instance?
Oh yeah, we call you beast in training. That's what we call you, beast in training.
The one beast.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So you ain't got it, but we think you've got it. You know what I mean?
To have
that's it.
I don't know about that, to be honest. Like, you were there, him on the boxing punch bag. Like, that wasn't a pretty sight. Come on.
Hello, if we're talking about Adebayo Akinfenwa talking about Soccer M videos, Nathan in goal surely has to get a mention. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Listen, we have to get clips up about that. I'm telling you. Look, he's right beside me, so I don't really want to say it to his face. But we've got to get clips about him.
I think we can actually shortly.
I'm telling you, we have to have a look at that, because I thought, when I was talking to him, I thought it was jokes. I thought he was joking, but he was really trying.
So, to give you a back reference, we used to do a thing called Stat Football. Nathan was our goalie. And we had a brilliant video of Akinfenwa reacting to Nathan in goal. True story, at the end of our filming, you turned to him and went, Smithy, that is a joke, isn't it?
I'm telling you.
You thought he was joking.
I thought he was joking.
Bad.
It was like...
I want me and Bayo outside in the soccer
No, you
park,
don't
and I want to try and save some Bayo penalties. Because if I save one, then everything that you say is void. And I'm no longer the worst goalkeeper on YouTube.
You know what the worst thing is? I'd take that. I don't think you'll have one. I don't think you'll get one. I've just seen one shot that you just let. I don't think you'll have one.
Oh, no, we're not going to introduce this, sorry.
Right, guys, we can see Nathan in goal. Here it is.
Enjoy, everyone.
There it is. So Nathan is in goal. So his outfit is... I mean, what is he doing?
It's a good hat, though, right?
Honestly, commentate over this. What is the orange hat?
I don't even know what it was. I mean, look on his goal line.
Small.
Look at this. I mean...
That one wide.
Nathan,
he went down in the Stormers, that one there.
I mean...
to be fair, you wasn't getting that.
There's one in a minute that is horrific, Nate.
Oh, it's this one. I can't watch this.
Oh, wow. Wow.
This is painful. Can we get back to the match, please? Look at Save that one. Come on.
Look at that technique.
Come on.
Well, we might as well ask you, the technique, is there any positives for Nathan? Be honest as well.
No. Sorry, you know...
we're arranging this one-on-one, me and you,
my man 100 grand, but there's just no hope. I'm sorry.
Can you get me a trial?
I got you.
Trial?
Yeah.
Right, we have to get back to the game, because it is a World Cup final going on. It is France 4, Croatia 2. There's 6 minutes to play. 5 minutes to play
We need another goal for Croatia just to...
Yeah, we do.
We need another goal.
It's been an amazing final.
The momentum is with Croatia as well. If they score, I would back them as well to get a second one.
Interestingly, another player I want to chuck in there, I thought that would been brilliant. Pavard, we mentioned earlier. This is an amazing stat. Pavard has never lost a game for France at any level. Under 18s, under 21s, senior level. Is that just one of those freak stats? 30 games in total, never lost a game.
It's a freak stat. Never lost a game.
No.
But when you look at the guys he's playing with, it becomes less ridiculous, right?
Yeah, true.
You know, look at the Ousmane Dembele's. Like, France's youth team is absolutely unbelievable.
Look,
But still 30 games undefeated to mental.
Look, Griezmann tracking back. 5 minutes to go. 2 goals up.
Yeah, I think Griezmann made 5 tackles against Belgium in the semi. 5 tackles.
Guys, who's your man of the match for this game?
Oh.
Who's been out, actually?
Pogba's been fantastic in this.
Yeah, Pogba's
Well, for France, it's been a pretty cohesive performance, in terms of a team performance.
Yeah, it don't look like nobody's stood out.
Yeah.
They've just been a well-oiled machine as a team.
I think Pogba probably, for his moments of brilliance, that pass leading up to his goal.
Yeah, I think Pogba might take it.
He's been solid in the middle of the park as well defensively.
Yeah.
It's been a very professional performance from him.
Yeah. He's done exactly what he's needed to at every moment of the game.
What more can you ask? I like that.
Interesting.
Ooh.
I think as much as you want to perhaps
save.
slate Didier Deschamps, though, he's built a very balanced side. You know,
we weren't slating him.
We wasn't slating him.
I know. Yeah,
no, he is rubbish. he's got a very solid base. So, for instance, like rather than playing Ousmane Dembele, he's played Matuidi in that kind of like on the left side of that attacking band of 3. And then when Matuidi came off, he put Tolisso there instead. And so that gives him like a defensive presence in the front line, which obviously he likes. And maybe that is one of the reasons that Pogba's been able to shine. Like, who knows? But yeah, I guess that I would just like to see a more exciting version of France, because when you look at the players, there's no reason they couldn't be exciting. And yet a lot of the time they haven't been in this tournament. You know, when you think about them scraping past Australia, a 0-0 with Denmark, scraping past Peru.
I think they've done what they've needed to do, and they've turned it on when they needed to turn it on. So the teams that they've needed to, they had to turn it on against Argentina. They stepped up, blew them apart. Again, conceded. They've stepped up here again, scoring. But I just, you know, where it's, always got gears to go on to.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying? Modric's been very quiet this game.
He has. Luka Modric has been quiet. So, the scenes in the fan parks. Zagreb, there it is, over Nathan's shoulder. They look very nervous, very quiet.
They're not leaving yet.
I think they've almost...
Even they're chilling, yeah? You'd think
but then also, it's a good point. Disappointing scenes.
I know, man.
No,
that wasn't like that. This was in England right now.
They would be
exactly
going mad.
There'd be beer everywhere.
Come on, guys. You're about to win a World Cup.
England, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that is incredibly quiet, though, isn't it?
Mad quiet there.
4-2. 2 minutes to go.
Oh, the
well,
man could have got you down and give you a pen.
Chance. Ooh.
Nah, man.
They're
When you
taking
got them-
pot shots now as well.
When you've got them pinned back with that many guys in the box, I just...
I hate them when they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, how-
It just decreases all the
You
pressure
just,
on
yeah,
them,
you
right?
just...
Like it all
it's just-
disappears.
Chance from Rakitic. High and wide.
We've got a few shouts here in regards to the man of the match chat.
Okay,
so
go
we've got Goran Huvic, who says Mbappe. We've got Kevin McGrath, who's saying Pogba. Have Ricardo is also going for Mbappe. A few shouts for Griezmann as well.
He's been very good.
And we've also got some who's saying the referee deserves to be man of the match. So there you go.
And on Football Daily Twitter, the poll is currently 47% Pogba, 41% Mbappe.
Oh, close.
Pretty close.
I think Mbappe, it'd probably be nearly the easier choice to select him just for overall in the tournament, how amazing
I
he's been.
think Mbappe could win player of the tournament. It'd be very interesting to see who wins that now, because they
it's
love
still
giving
gonna
it to someone who's
Modric.
won the World Cup, don't they? I think
They
they'll-
do, but I still think it's going to be Modric, don't you?
I think it should be...
Performance
By the
is
way, the start of the tournament,
But Mbappe's
Kylian
been
Mbappe was
that-
100 to 1 with Sky Bet. With
be
Sky
player of
Bet,
the tournament?
to be player of the tournament.
Amazing.
And France win the World Cup. France win the World Cup, and Kylian Mbappe to be player of the tournament was 100 to 1 with Sky Bet.
I still think he has to go to Modric.
wow.
In terms of where he's taken that squad and what he's done with that squad and leading that squad to a final, a place that nobody thought they'd ever get to. You know, he's been that integral cog that has been there for
Who's
the
that?
entire tournament, Modric.
But then I think it's exactly the same with Mbappe. The exactly
Yeah, but
same.
he's playing in a team that people expected to get to the final, expected to go forward. Nobody
Were they
expected
favourites?
Croatia.
Were France favourites, yeah?
I think they were joint favourites with Brazil.
okay.
Yeah. Dorman's got a point though. In our work sweepstake, we obviously all given different teams, and I got mine. I only got one good team in my head, Argentina.
Yeah.
And it was only that I realised in the semi-finals against England, I was like, oh, I have Croatia as well.
Who won?
That shows.
Seb
I
won the
literally,
sweepstake, didn't
as
he?
soon as I got it, I was like, no,
Well,
they're
yeah,
not going to get
yeah.
anywhere near that. So yeah, fair play to
interesting.
Croatia.
Bayo, you were saying before this game started as well, I think even to be fair, when we were filming with you before the tournament started, raving about Mbappe.
Yeah.
Raving about Mbappe. He's only the second player ever in World Cup history as a teenager to score in a final after Pele. I mean, can we start comparing him? How good do you think he will become? I mean,
Pele
we
back
can't compare him to
then,
Pele, yeah, but is he going to be the Ronaldos, the Messi? Is he going to be that
But
good, do you think?
I think that's the good thing about this tournament is that it shined a light on new players.
Yeah.
So it's good because we've always talked about, and we will talk about Messi and Ronaldo when the season starts because they're going to score goals again. But it is good that it's shining a light on the future.
Yeah.
And I think Mbappe is the future. I just do, you know what I'm saying? Oh, here we go.
here we go.
Here we go. Run, show me something because I'm bigging you up right now. I'm bigging you up.
Pogba still
Back to
absolutely
Pogba.
racing forwards.
I should have done better there.
5 minutes of additional time. Is there any chance for Croatia if you're...
Yeah.
They need divine
They
intervention
need to
at
score
this
right
stage.
now.
They need a goal right now for any chance.
It's rough.
Yeah,
tackle.
it's done.
Take out the corner.
Nah, I reckon they want more goals now. Come on.
Oh, he's done well. Griezmann's done so well there.
That's great.
Clever.
It's a bit rough.
The ref looks knackered, doesn't he? You can tell he's been refereeing a tough game.
Who was that did it? Lovren.
Incredible comb over as well for the ref.
Can't be like that.
Incredible.
He's never missed time to tackle.
Questionable, more like. I mean, 92nd minute, Griezmann beats 3 players, wins a foul.
They're club teammates, aren't they? Vasalka and...
There's a question here
Correct,
we've got
yeah.
from Juan on Soccer AM Facebook, and he asks, if you're the Real Madrid president, who would you be eyeing up as the best replacement for Cristiano Ronaldo?
Mbappe.
Mbappe. There's maybe shouts of Mbappe, Hazard, Neymar.
Yeah.
I think Hazard deserves a massive move after this.
Well, Hazard is a good point, because did you see Hazard's quotes after the first
Yeah. He wants to go. He wants to go.
Yeah, it was implying that he'd be open to a move.
I think
they're more likely.
Here it is.
That's a handball. That is a handball. Surely that is. They've got to show.
I don't think they're bothered about VAR at this stage.
I'm not going to give it again.
Is that him thinking, I've given one, I'm not going to...
Oh, it's great defence again. Yeah. Everyone's working so hard.
See, now they're pressing high and forcing them to go long.
Nice. Interesting. Yeah, well played.
Nah, you're done, fam. You're done.
It's all gotten a bit frantic from Croatia here.
What Griezmann's done for you?
Look at the gas.
Wow, good speed.
Quick turn. So you don't think of Griezmann as pace in terms of Mbappe, but he can shift the ball quickly, can't he?
His acceleration.
Yeah, it's like his first 10 metres, he's quicker without his explosive speed.
Great tackle.
This is the thing that England didn't have in the games when they were confident in closing out games. Like, France looks so in control here. Everything Croatia are throwing at them, they're dealing with comfortably. England
had a bit of luck as well in this game, haven't they?
Yeah, but also, in terms of it, comparing England to this team, England really struggled in these portions of the game to really put up a good defensive display and see the game out.
Yeah.
Whereas Croatia just don't look like they're...
He's putting his hand away. He's putting his hand away.
Good
in the moment, it just looked like he...
Pogba's has got that.
That Pogba, that's great strength.
Pogba's everywhere.
Yeah.
Man of the match.
He's had a really good
Man of the
game.
match.
He has had a really good game, yeah.
And he's done well. You know what? He's got to get mentioned. I like him. He's done well. My man. My guy. The bad man. What's his name? Yeah, him. My guy.
Last minute of the game, 4-2 France. Surely barring an absolute footballing sensation, France are going to be crowned.
There we go. The celebrations have started.
They've started to be
They've woken up now.
They've woken up.
The TV cameras are on.
The scenes in Paris, that is more like it. Flags being waving, fans going crazy. Zagreb, they look... To be fair, they've started clapping their fans as well. Good to see. They've had a fantastic tournament.
No, fair play.
You've got to say fair play to Croatia. They've been brilliant in this final. Been very unlucky as well with a lot of decisions going against them.
I tell you what, just going back to the golden ball winner, I put a poll up and it's 42% for Modric and 42% for Mbappe.
Wow.
No, for both of them, 42% each, 16% other.
Modric and Mbappe.
I think they have to be the two main contenders. They have been the two outstanding players.
They've both carried their team.
It's also mental to think that Mbappe's 19.
Yeah, and that's what I've got to...
Here we go. We're into the 5th minute of injury time. There were 5 minutes added on. Surely that is it. France are the world champions for 2018. The World Cup is over. France defeat Croatia 4-2. And the players are going absolutely crazy. These are the scenes in Paris. The flags are being waved. Not a lot of beer going everywhere, but they look absolutely delighted. Deschamps becomes only the 3rd person in World Cup history to win the tournament as a player and as a manager. Goals from Pogba, Mbappe, Griezmann, and an own goal as well, of course, from Mandzukic. There is Griezmann. Won the Europa League this year. He's now a World Cup winner. Captain Hugo Lloris will lift the trophy for France.
Spurs player lifting the trophy, what's that about?
And look what it means to these players, Bayo. Look at what it means to these players.
That feeling, like I was buzzing when we got promoted from League One, from the League 2. So imagine how these are feeling to be the best team in the world. Oh.
Talk us through, like you quite rightly said it, it's, you know, you don't know, none of us have won a World Cup, but you've played at the highest level of any of us by a long way. The feeling of winning a trophy, these players, surely they're not going to be able to sleep tonight.
No, sleep? What sleep? They ain't going to sleep for a week.
Really?
Oh my days, they are going to be on cloud 9. And it won't even sink in. That's the thing. See, right now, they're elation, they're running on adrenaline. And then when it's just, when they get that moment of quietness and be like, oh, yo, look what we did. And when they're going to get back to France, and they're going to see everybody, it's just like, yo, we're the champions of the world. It's just that feeling there is, it's the pinnacle. It's the pinnacle.
So, do you think they were deserved winners? We were saying at half-time that we thought Croatia were unlucky with some of the decisions. Better team on the day for you, France?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think that even the Croatians will really argue with that. Like, it's rough because of when the penalty happened, you know, the stage in the game, but at the same time, you know, Subasic could still have saved it, and Croatia still had time to come back into it. Like, I think It's sad, but overall, I mean, that we saw those decisions throughout the tournament. We saw one go against Portugal the same way, and this French team, they turned up today when they needed to. Yeah. Did exactly what they needed to the whole game long.
Let's look at Zagreb as well. The scenes in Zagreb, to be fair, we have to applaud the fans here. They look like they're applauding their fans. They've got the flags flying, very gracious in defeat. Can't see a lot because I think there's some sort of flares going off. But they've got to be incredibly proud. We mentioned them as a nation, 4 million, their greatest ever achievement getting to a final. It's still a magnificent achievement. Hard for them to be happy at this period, but they've got to be, a bit like when England lost to Croatia, you've still got to look at the tournament on a whole and as a positive.
No, I think they know that they were the underdogs.
Yeah.
They were the underdogs, so it would have been, and I think miracle's a bit strong of a word for Croatia to win, but they were the underdogs, so, you know, win, lose, or, well, couldn't draw, win or lose, win or lose, they were proud and they'll be happy, and that's what it is. They're looking at it like, look, it was achievement. There was X amount of teams in it, and they came second. So, of course, they're going to be proud of their team. But, of course, when you get to the final, you want to win it. That's just the period of it, sort of thing. But, no, man, it's an achievement.
Yeah, so from Zagreb to Paris, there they are. French fans going crazy now. Flags in the air.
Paris tonight.
There's a couple of them crying. I think there's scenes in Paris tonight. Wow. 4-2. What a World Cup final. Guys, social corner. What are people saying about that? Surely everyone, from a neutral perspective, must appreciate that's one of the best World Cup finals of all time.
Yeah, no, there's huge congratulations, obviously, going out to France. Everyone's saying it was deserved. Yeah. People saying it was deserved. Unlucky to Croatia. People are also overall saying that Russia were a fantastic host. So, may I ask Dorman, who was out in Russia himself, what was your experience in Russia?
I was lucky enough to get to the England semi-final. And, you know, I had my reservations about going out to Russia, but I literally couldn't say a bad word about them when I was out there. The streets were so clean, Moscow people were so friendly, and, like, the atmosphere was fantastic because England fans were there in their numbers, but so were Croatian fans. But they were getting on. It was, like, a really good atmosphere. And that, like, they were all in the same pub, like, spilling out onto the street, just trading chants back and forth. And there was, like, no animosity between them. They were getting on. Everybody was, like, hugging, having the pints. There were cameras everywhere. It was a fantastic atmosphere to be involved in, one that has kind of, England fans kind of get a bad rap sometimes, but there was nothing like that I saw. It was like a really good, wholehearted atmosphere in Russia, and then the atmosphere in the stadium was fantastic as well. When Trippier banged that goal, the roof lifted off. But no, I mean, I think Russia have absolutely smashed this World Cup.
Well said, Pete.
And following on, there's a question we've got from Abdon for Soccer YouTube. Yep. And he's already, France have just won the World Cup, but he's flinging ahead to the next World Cup in Qatar. So he wants to ask you guys, how do you feel about the next World Cup taking place in Qatar? It would be a Winter World Cup.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not even going to lie.
Finished on the 18th of December, Bayo.
Yeah, I'm not even, for me, I'm a creature of habit. I think the World Cup should be at the end of the season, in the summer, period. If I'm proven wrong, so be it, then I'd rather be, but for me, I don't know the particulars, how is it going to work. So the season's going to continue to go on, correct? So the Premier League and that is going to go on, or are they going to stop it for a month?
No, I think they're going to stop it. I think they'll start a few weeks earlier and then a few weeks later, but take a break for Christmas.
Yeah, so during the season.
The thing is, I think it could be good for England because it means that they're not coming into a tournament after playing 50 games of the season, which means they're fresher.
Oh, so they're going to stop the... I didn't even know that. So they're going to stop the Prem?
Yeah,
they're going to stop all football, the leagues.
Yeah, they have to, otherwise it's not fair for league structure and things like that. But it'd be an unbelievable Christmas, though, wouldn't it, if England win the World Cup and then 3 lines is number 1. But it is interesting, Pato, what do you stand on it? Because it's going to be a huge change for all of us watching a World Cup. It'd seem odd watching a World Cup in December. Well, it'd be nice to have football in the run-up to Christmas. Like, I mean, that's one of the things I always enjoy most about Christmas, like having football. But I don't know, like, it's going to be strange having Qatar be in it, for one. Yeah. Like, having Qatar play in the World Cup. Whereas Russia playing in the World Cup isn't that strange, but Qatar getting automatic qualification. I'm not really wild about it being in Qatar for a bunch of different reasons. I think that it's not really a great message to send, and I think it's not going to be particularly welcoming to a whole variety of different fans. But from the point of view of the season as well, I think we're going to see complaints from people. You know, if one of their players goes to the World Cup and busts an ACL or, you know, pings a hamstring, then people are going to be complaining about it all season long. So whatever they did with the World Cup in Qatar, people are going to find something to be annoyed about from a football perspective. I just hope that it's not too bad from a kind of outside perspective.
Well, so in saying that, everybody had the reservations about Russia, and they've hit it out of the park.
Yeah. Interesting. Imagine the scenes in Hyde Park, England in a World Cup final. It's snowing, mulled wine's going in the air. It's a completely different vibe, isn't it?
Jeez.
So we're just looking back on the highlights. That's unbelievable
mad.
final. I mean,
you're looking back at it now.
How is that a penalty?
It's not.
If it doesn't hit his hand, I think this goes straight through to Mbappe.
What I quite like from a neutral's perspective is that at half-time, if that game had ended 2-1 with an own goal and that VAR decision, it would have been horrible for Croatia, for football, really. It's quite nice France went on to dominate that, and the stories are France being great and not Croatia being cheated out of the game. But
it also changed the game in that it meant Croatia had to go for it. So that is why they were getting hit in the counter, because they had to go for it, because they were a goal behind. If they had gone in at 1-1 half-time, they could have regrouped and just kind of taken a less direct approach to the game.
So you think that VAR had a huge...
Yeah, I think that decision changed
massively.
The game.
You go in, and that's both mentalities as well. You go in 1-1 and you go in 2-1. You're coming out. It goes into both. So France come in knowing they've gone in 2-1, and then they feeling cheated. It changes it. So then, of course, their game plan in the second half is to come, and then you see what happens. It's 4-1 before they get back into it. But it's still, even though that was a major, it's nice that 2 goals were scored afterwards. So we're not just concentrating on that penalty. So,
well, speaking of that VAR incident, Nathan, we've got a decent tweet from Jamie Carragher, I believe, which is in the wall. There it is.
Cool. Yeah. So Jimmy Carragher said it's the referee's mistake, not VAR. VAR is just a replay of an incident.
It's an interesting point, that actually, because. Yeah. Well, VAR is available for every decision, isn't it? So it's the communication between VAR and the referee. So where do you stand? Is it VAR? Is it the ref? I mean, we think the wrong decision was made. Are we all agreeing we think it wasn't a penalty?
Broadly, yeah. I mean, like, there's a limit.
I
don't think it's a penalty, but I also don't care that much.
Honesty.
But if you say it's not a penalty, I mean, I know what you were saying before. You can see it from a bunch of different angles, and sometimes you slow these things down, they start to look intentional. Yeah. You know, or for instance, when a player's tripped, if you slow it down, often it looks like
I think that's
it wasn't
really
a
good
real
point.
like tackle. You know, it wasn't like, you know, because when someone's going so fast, then you see a little bit of contact. So it can change things from that point of view. But realistically, the ref still made the decision that it was a penalty based on what he saw.
The premise of VAR is that the decision is with the referee. VAR is there to help the referee, not override him.
Yeah, it's to give the referee information. So your problem's with the referee, not with VAR. If you think that it's not a penalty, I guess. So I see it from that point of view. However, you can say the ref wouldn't have an opportunity to give it if it weren't for VAR. So I don't know. I think at the end of this, the Croatians will at least feel they were well beaten.
I think refs just need to get more used to using VAR and making those big decisions and not getting caught up because they've seen 20 replays of it hitting his hand.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is what it means. Look at what football. Look at it. Crying. There's tears of joy. There's tears of sadness.
That's amazing.
This epitomises. Look at the scenes.
I really rate actually the scenes in Zagreb as well. They're still celebrating.
Yeah, there they are. There are the scenes in Zagreb. Still cheering. Fair play to Croatia. Came so far. Amazing achievement, but France were too good on the day. Bayo, you were just engrossed in that Pogba goal, weren't you? The pass and the goal.
Yeah, man. And I just see it again. I must have not have paid attention first time around. But Pogba's goal, both the pass and then got into the box and then the finish. The composure to have the first shot come back to him. No backlift. That's a finish as well. That's Henry-esque.
Which is I'm not going to ask which is a better goal because it's not fair, and I shouldn't because they're 2 World Cup final goals. Which is a harder goal to score, technique-wise, Mbappe's or Pogba's?
Mbappe's.
Because it's the backlift, the lack of
backlift, and putting it in kind of reverse the corner, so that's a hard and he's further out. Right. I think even though you knew what Pogba was doing, it came back at him quickly. So he shot, it came back at him, and then he side-footed it, so that's more control into it. So Mbappe's harder, but
Mbappe wasn't even being closed down there. He was given 5 yards.
It was. You can see he was given. It was. I don't know if it was. You know, it was switching off. If it was tired, but you know, Vida normally and even Lovren, they get out, block the shots, but I don't know if they were just feeling sorry for themselves because they were 3-1 down and they allowed them, and then of course paid the price with Mbappe finishing.
That obviously result means as well Harry Kane wins the Golden Boot. A quick word on that, as from a striker's perspective, obviously goes without saying he'd have rather won the World Cup and it's an individual trophy. But how important are those individual awards for strikers? Because for years he was saying he wanted to win the Premier League Golden Boot. He won it. People were saying one season wonder. He won it again. Going into a World Cup, I think you know, people thought he couldn't do it at that level. He's now won the Golden Boot. How important are the individual awards for a player like Harry Kane?
Oh, massively. I think, like, you set individual and collective goals as a player. So, and for him as a striker, you're judged on goals, and he loves goals. And I think that, you know, the top strikers love goals. It is what it is. So for him, he's like, okay, as a collective, we didn't win it, but we got to the semi-final, so that's a plus. But he would have set at the beginning, look, I want to be top goal scorer, and he did that. So you set individual accolades for yourself, and you keep pushing. So for him as an individual, that's a plus in his column. And now his next goal will be, well, in the next 4 years, I want to win the World Cup. And win it. So that's what you've got to do. So salute to him. And to be fair, going into it, I felt Harry Kane would score goals. You know, I did. I said it, so I pat myself on the back. And that.
Go on, pat yourself on the back.
Thank you. I can't reach my back. You know, but I did think he'll do it. So fair play to him. I think he started the tournament on flames. You know, died down a little bit towards the end. I don't know if he was injured or tired or whatever. But yeah, man, fair play to him. You know what I'm saying? That's an individual award that he can take away and then build upon that.
Yeah, and he's only one of only 2 Englishmen to ever win a Golden Boot at a World Cup. And the other one has just tweeted. Gary Lineker says, congratulations to Harry Kane on winning the Golden Boot. Welcome to the club, young man. Very good. Obviously, Gary Lineker won the Golden Boot in 1986. I think he got exactly the same amount of goals to win the Golden Boot, 6 in 86, and Harry Kane got 6 in 2018. And we're just watching scenes of Didier Deschamps being thrown into the air and getting sprayed with water, it looks, as well.
Smithy, on the topic of Harry Kane, we've got a question. It's from Simon from Soccer AM. Maybe one for you. He says, is there a danger now with Harry Kane having won the Golden Boot at the World Cup, the teams are going to come calling for him at Spurs? And I guess...
Is there danger he'll leave Spurs, you mean? I think a player of his quality, there's always a possibility that clubs will come in for him, I think.
But as a Spurs fan, is that... Are you scared now? You know,
as a fan, the only thing I'll say positive to us is that he has signed the new contract, which I know doesn't mean he's going to stay.
Yeah, I mean, no.
But I'm not saying he's going to stay, but it means his price is going to be raised. So I think from Spurs' point of view, it's win-win. We either keep a fantastic player or we get an unbelievable amount of money.
Could you really put a price on him, though?
My point is, it's worked out better that he's had a good World Cup because it raises his price having signed the contract.
How much do you think?
Would I rather keep him? Yes, obviously.
A debate we had in our changing room. Do you think Harry Kane's, because Harry Kane scored, was it 4 of his 6 or 3 of his 6 with pens?
3 from pens and then 1 from that deflection.
Yeah. Okay, so do you feel that takes a shine off his goals? Because I don't know how many was involved with it. It was pens and not out of play. So do you think that takes a shine? I'll come to you, Pato, because you Mr. Serious in that.
Mr. Serious.
No, not really. Like, I think that's probably true of every top scorer at a World Cup. Like, they're going to get some penalties. And, like, look, if I were, like, scouting a young player and I was like, how many goals did he score, then I'd probably take out penalties just to look at, like, what he's doing from open play. Because, to a certain extent, if you're your team's designated penalty taker, that's an advantage. You still have to be good at penalties, but it is an advantage. If you're looking at somebody winning an individual award at a World Cup, then, like, you know, he scored every penalty that was put in front of him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've got to give him credit for that. And it's not like other strikers didn't have the opportunity to score penalties. There were more penalties at this World Cup than ever before.
And it's interesting because Gary Lineker scored a lot of his goals from penalties as well. And we don't remember how many goals were from penalties now going back. So you actually don't remember those things, really, do you?
Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, the Cristiano Ronaldo's detractors have always tried to say, well, he scores a lot of penalties. But, I mean, he scores a lot of other goals too.
Yeah. And interestingly, he scored a penalty and he scored the one that De Gea made an error from a free kick. So it's how you break it down, but, you know. When you said you had that debate, what was the vibe in the...
It was half and half. I mean, as a striker, for me, I think that goals change games regardless, no matter what it is, you know, if it's an open play or if it's a pen. So, and like you said, like, there's... Modric missed a pen, then it went into extra time, and then it went to penalty shootout. Yeah. So pens are as important as open play. So it was 50-50. Yeah. Some of them were saying, well, look, he only scored 3 in open play. So in the sense of saying world class, in the sense of saying how great he was as a striker, they took the shine off that. Me, goals are goals. Yeah. Like you said, you don't remember Gary Lineker's goals. He scored 6, got the Golden Boot. It is where it is. End of the story.
Also, when you said he only scored 3 in open play, that's still 3 World Cup goals in open play, which some strikers didn't even get.
100%. Mine didn't get a shot goal. He won. Giroud won the thing. He didn't get a shot goal.
The World Cup and didn't score a single goal. Yeah. But he won't care, will he?
100%.
And I think you can make you know, I think we could probably all agree that Kane was maybe not as good at the World Cup as he was for Spurs last season.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But, you know,
sorry, not in terms of goal scoring, he had a fantastic tournament, but in terms of taking the games by the scruff of the neck.
I'd say even his all-around game. I'd say Colombia was the only game.
That's the same. For me, I didn't think that Harry Kane was the Harry Kane for Tottenham.
I think he had an injury in the last
That's
game.
what. So for me, I felt the last couple games, he seemed off it, but that just also shows the stature that he's got as an individual, that you play Harry Kane half fit, because a half fit Harry Kane still scares opposition, and that just shows what he does and what he is as an individual. But he still scored 6 goals. So no matter what you're trying to say, like you said, I don't think it was an amazing Harry Kane tournament, but still he walks away with a golden boot.
But people discounting his goals because he scored penalties. I mean, that's people assuming the penalties are given goals or not. You still need to score them.
Exactly. Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
World Cup,
and emphatic penalties as well.
The thing, in the World Cup, biggest stage in the world, you still need to score them. You still need to have the stones to score them.
Interestingly, 7 penalties missed in the World Cup as well, and the likes of Messi, Ronaldo, Modric all missed. So,
no, man, you got to be able to. People say it's a given. It really ain't. I'll tell you that.
And on penalties, shout out to the biggest penalty in the whole tournament, Griezmann, for scoring that. A lot of pressure on that penalty.
Yeah. It was. Even though it wasn't a pen, but you had to still score it. You get me?
You scored a penalty in a cup final, Bayer?
Hey, say
more
that
pressure on him more than you in that situation?
For me, it was 9 minutes wait. There was an argument with me and my player.
I remember that,
I had to take the ball and I had to score because I took it off him. It was more pressure on me, League 2 playoff final, 100%.
How fast was your heart beating there?
No, in my head, I was just like, I have to score. I've made such a scene. But for me, it was 9 minutes extra time played. So after the kick of the penalty, they were going to blow the whistle. So we was promoted anyway. So it took the pressure off me. It wasn't like it was 0-0 and I had to score. It was 1-0 up and the game was going to blow. So it took the pressure off me.
But you did score.
Come on now. I did.
Final thoughts from Social Corner.
Yeah,
so we've talked about players of the tournament, teams of the tournament.
Yeah, no, there's a question we've got, but it's from an England perspective. So it's Jordan on Football Daily who's asked it, and he wants asking, how do you rate England's chances at the next Euros, and do you believe Gareth Southgate will still be in charge?
Pato, what are your thoughts?
He'll almost certainly still be in charge.
Yeah, I think that's a given.
England pretty much always walk qualification, so barring something insane, he's going to be there. I think their chances are pretty good. Like, when I look at England from this tournament, I kind of think, what are they missing? They're missing a fit elite left-back. They're missing a dedicated number 10 style creator in the centre of the park. And when I look at guys coming through, I kind of see those players there. You know, you see Ryan Sessegnon, he's 17, 18, he's had a fantastic season, going to be playing Premier League football next season. Player. Then creativity from midfield, you've got Mason Mount, you know, you've got Phil Foden, you've got Jadon Sancho out of Borussia Dortmund. Yeah. So they certainly have the possibility to find solutions for all their problems. The only question is, how good are France going to be? You know, how good is Spain going to be? I actually think that England are probably, if I had to handicap it now, I'd probably put them certainly in the top 3, maybe. For the Euros.
Yeah, I'd say that as well.
And also, look at the squad. I know you said that, but a lot of Spain's squad, a lot of that squad is ageing, retired. They're going to have to find a new system and new manager, new everything. You know, Germany massively disappointing. France are going to be huge favourites for me. France will be massive favourites to win that tournament, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did it again. But you look at the European teams, I think England have got a very good chance.
Then you think Italy coming back, they have a pretty good squad coming through. You know?
The only thing is, I think that England took a lot of people by surprise playing the 3-5-2, playing the possession. Right. So now teams have seen that. I think it's a little bit more, teams will be aware of possession football. But then I still think that I'll put them in the top 3. And I think that the good thing about this, England have been in a tournament where they've had success. So now a little bit of added pressure where now they're favourites. And the key thing for me is, which I think is very hard to do with teams, is beat the teams that you're supposed to. I think if you can beat the teams that you're supposed to, that gives you a level of foundation. And that's what England did. So going into, like you said, they walked through most qualified campaigns. So if they continue to beat the teams they're supposed to, then they'll feel that they'll match up against the Spains, the Italys, the France. So I do think they'll do well. I think England have got a good base now to build upon.
It's good motivation as well, isn't it? The semi-finals and the finals, they're both at Wembley.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
there was a question earlier. What do you think about the format of that tournament, that it's all around Europe?
Interesting. I think it could be brilliant because if you think about it, of how big certain countries that have hosted major tournaments are anyway, so South Africa, Brazil, Russia, you're still moving actually a huge distance each way. It's still like moving across Europe. So I think it has the potential to be absolutely fantastic. I think it's great for fans of all countries to experience a World Cup, a tournament in their country, and I think it's, you know, you can be going to Wembley to one, Milan to one. I think it's potentially, as long as they get it right, you know, as long as they get the tournament structure right, I think it could be very good. And the fact that it's at Wembley is...
I think it's good they're trying new things. I just think that, you know, you can see football's moving, times are moving, and they're trying new things, and I think it's a good, and I think it could be very... This he's a problem. It's just a problem. It's just the way he just gets going.
You love Mbappe, don't you? We're just watching...
I love that. I love freedom. I love playing with fairness. He's fearless.
I think it'll be interesting to see as he gets older as well, if he starts having that little think of doubt in his mind and how that affects it.
I pray that he does. I was just about to say that. I pray he doesn't get injured because do you know what he reminds me of? Probably better, but when Michael Owen was 17 in a World Cup, pure pace, pure. No fear, running in place. He said he got injured, Michael Owen, lost a yard, and it really affected him physically and mentally. And I hope he doesn't have an injury.
He looks stronger though than Michael Owen looked like a kid when he came through.
Yeah.
You know, he looks.
Yeah, it's so easy to forget how young Mbappe is.
He looks like he's 19. He's a kid, but he still looks solid. He still looks. You know, Michael Owen, remember him that goal against Argentina, man, looked like he was 7, you know what I'm saying? The kick was massive and it was black. So, but that's the thing, as long as he don't get an injury, he's going to kick on.
Do you think at that age, everything's just instinctive and he's not even, like, doubting about it, or...?
Yeah, man, he's playing with... He must, you know, it's one of them ones where for me, I got to warm up for a good hour before I play. Yeah. He literally will probably be always walking with a football. You know, it's that sort of, you know, the lust and love for the game that he's just got. And he got in that in the World Cup final, playing like he'd be playing with his friends. You know, and I think that's something that you can lose when you play the game. When it's just the love. I'm telling you,
the thing that's really impressed me about him, given his age, is that his decision-making on the ball has been fantastic. You know, he's like an old head on young shoulders. Because he always seems to do the right thing at the right time, make the right decision. And he's 19.
We're raving about him, but officially the man of the match was awarded. We mentioned Pogba, we mentioned Mbappe. The man of the match officially was awarded to Antoine Griezmann.
Is it? Yeah.
Fair enough. You know, that's not a terrible decision.
No.
I just would have given it to Pogba. Would you?
No, I would give it to Pogba. Yeah, Pogba. I thought Griezmann was. I know he took the pressure pen. And we saw a couple tackles that, you know, he wasn't resting on his laurels, but I think
towards the end he was still fit. He was running with the ball.
Yeah, I still
he didn't
think
have a bad game.
Not a bad game. I feel that Pogba was more influential. You know what I'm saying? But no, it wasn't a bad decision, and it is what it is.
Right. Nearly out of time, guys. Before we go, Bayo, thank you so much for being on the show, but also recreating all the goals.
Pleasure.
Tom Drinkwater in the gallery, though, wants to show you this clip. This is Drinkwater recreating the goal that you couldn't recreate, apparently.
That is...
Do you remember that?
Stupidly, I can't remember that. That's great.
Cameraman Tom Drinkwater with a top-bit effort.
Editing. Where did you edit that? That was editing. You edited that. OK, Tom.
Do you want to see it again? Let's have a look at it again.
Let's see it. Look. Watch the double take like it's in the Matrix. Look, you see they've stitched that together. That never.
They've had a long time to stick it together.
I remember
there's the replay. Absolute wit from Drink.
Hey, Drinks. I'd give you that, Drink.
Working hard behind the scenes. A quick message to Drinkwater down camera one with that.
I salute you. Don't ever do that again. We're going to work together soon. You see what happens. Anyway, I congratulate you.
Right. That is it, guys. France are the World Cup winners, quite deservedly so. Nathan, Pete, thanks for Social Corner.
No problem.
Passo, amazing knowledge, as always, stats. Thanks for joining us. And Bayo, brilliant to have you on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
France are the World Cup champions. We've got the scenes here of them.
Oh, Lamb, Philip Lahm and them, man, there.
Thank you for joining us for the Football Social with Sky. But don't forget to like, subscribe. Have a great weekend, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Spark your sports brain. Go global with Sky Bet.